Well, yeah, I'm gonna write something. I'm gonna write a Facebook post. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right. We live, nigga. I'm letting you know we live, yo. That shit is about to be live. We going hot. Going hot. Calm down.
I'm just, Joe. I can't have fun.
Yeah, you can have fun, yo. Just be ready to have fun.
Already.
Shit. Don't too much. Shit. That shit caused a motherfucking firestorm. Oh shit, let me mute my shit out. Dang.
I'm over here in the kitchen. I'm tripping.
Things. No proof.
Oh shit. Damn. Shit. All right. Let the chat fill up, man. I'm trying to find a timestamp. Go ahead and fix something. You know, it's all Tep did. Oh man, people was asking in the chat what's going on. Damn. I don't know why I got the slow computer, yo.
Need some more memory. Right?
Oh man.
Oh shit. Fucking up. In a mess.
Sean, I cannot demonstrate the Hermetic hypothesis. Can anybody demonstrate the Hermetic hypothesis? I don't know. I gotta see. I think I can.
He's still on that.
Nah, he just asked me a question in the group. Man. How'd I get here?
I think that's where they saying the Afro-Asiatic is coming from.
Yeah, I ain't sure on that.
He's saying that was the beginning of it, like it's rooted in the Hermetic hypothesis.
Oh, okay.
They saying that Afro-Asiatic is not sound because it was rooted in, you feel me? It went from the Hermetic hypothesis to Afro-Asiatic without demonstrating the work. Am I right, Sean? If you're listening.
I don't know where Sean at, Ms. Hardiman, what's going on? Who we got here? Eric Ishmael, what's good with you? Yemi, what's up? Oh man, we got Anthony, I see you. Micah, what's up with you? I say your name right? Yep, Micah. How you doing, sis? What's good? There's some more people getting the building, man. Where you at, Van? I got to catch Vance be creeping out, yo. He be sneaking out, yo, into the abyss.
No. I'm still here right now. I should be good.
Y'all think we're going to be on here for 30 hours. This is not happening tonight. We is not leaving control to unbiased.
48 hours.
My boy Unbiased
really
pulled an all-nighter last night.
Nah,
I was like, damn.
Did he?
I didn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Damn.
I woke up about 3-4 times. They still was on the whole time. Got ready for work.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly.
Really,
I got up this morning. They was talking. They was talking some conspiracy talk.
I heard Corey hopped on there. I'm like, what the hell? Corey sounded half asleep.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, they was talking conspiracy, yo.
You did.
I got up for work. They talked conspiracy talk.
It was about 5.
Yeah, about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yo, ran out of stuff to say. Y'all went on conspiracy, boy.
Oh man, we gotta keep it moving, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I gotta check out. They be having good bills though. Check out Unbiased page.
Yeah, they be having
that
some good deals.
was a good 7 hours. That was a whole work shift, bro.
Ask will be Haskell be tripping me out, man.
Yeah,
That's my man.
Hey, I be agreeing with a lot of what he say though. Sometimes,
You be
a lot of
agreeing with
times,
Haskell?
Pseudo can
Hey,
be on
Corey,
point
he be
you be
way
agreeing
out
with
there.
Haskell, yo?
Not on a lot of the garbage, but like
His sentiment.
last night he was making a little bit of sense. He made me proud.
You delusional, yo. You getting in trouble, yo. If you think Haskell making
Made me
sense, you
proud
fade.
last night. Wasn't
I
he?
ain't gonna lie, there was a
Fade
few
into the
times I
pseudo,
agreed with
yo.
him too.
His sentiment be on point sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes he be on point. A pseudo can be right every once in a while.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because they play in the same arena. They just come to
They're
a
mixing
different
truth with
conclusion.
falsehood, so they're gonna be right sometimes.
Yeah.
They can read the same shit you read, they just come to a different conclusion.
Hey, Corey, you beat him up on the evolution thing, though. That was funny.
Oh yeah, that was a couple nights ago. Yeah, he did. He wasn't, as far as that evolution, he ain't feeling that.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
Omar, where you been at, man? Hit me up, man. I ain't heard from you while Omar Reed was good.
Oh, Omar, he's in a Discord server.
Hey, man, somebody, Venice, what'd you say? Venice Beauty said he the best at it. Okay. That'll damn near get you kicked off talking that SETI shit, but I'm gonna
let him rock, yo. Let him rock.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you rock. I ain't gonna be like that, yo. But I don't know why you come off like that. God dang, boy.
Off the rip.
Off the rip, man. You ain't even say hi. That might be SETI. That's probably is SETI.
Definitely SETI.
Yeah, snuck in his jump.
Nah, I mean, SETI play his role, yo. I ain't trying to knock his role.
I ain't heard from him.
Yep. You got a lane. Everybody got a lane, man. So we're gonna carve out our lane, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. Trying to get some subscribers up right here, man. Yeah, we ain't got enough subscribers, and I'll be damned we ain't got enough views. If y'all want some good, serious content, man, y'all gotta make sure y'all just, always stop through. We're gonna be every Friday. It don't matter who on, we coming. All right. So everybody just might as well just go ahead and get out the way. Yeah. Now I ain't gonna kick you out, man. I was talking. I don't ever kick nobody out. I don't do that. No, ain't no need to kick nobody out.
Oh, he said, bro, best pseudo. He the best pseudo. You talking about
yeah. He is. No. Wuja is not coming through. He's on Mount Olympus. Ain't coming. No.
What is there to talk about? That shit was killed last time.
Huh?
She said that she wants him to talk about this atheist stuff. That joint was killed last time.
No, we ain't doing that. We ain't letting nobody come on and kill nothing. You come in and throw your comments in and keep it moving. We ain't gonna bog shows down no more. We're gonna keep it moving. So, after further review, I was gonna talk about Crazy Sean, but he really wasn't crazy. I just said he was crazy. Because he's always, we say he like a loose cannon, but you always need a person like that around you to always say that. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? He always been one of my best supporters, right? So, I got to take a look at what he said. So basically, the question was asked, right? When he did the stream, him and Kofi, who are the pseudo killers? So we're going to tell him who we are. He asked the question, so we're going to give it to him. I always, I keep my finger on the pulse of the community and what we're doing. First of all, man, let me introduce some people here. CK, what's good? Pseudo Killer on deck. How you doing, sis?
Peace. Peace to the panelists. Peace to the chat.
It's a damn shame you ain't been believing in God since you was 16. I don't know how you did it. And you know you're going to hell.
I don't know. I probably stopped believing younger than that. I think I was faking for like a good 2 years.
Oh, man, you is not going to make it to heaven. We can get to anybody got a scripture for that young lady. Hey, Kent, what's good with you, man? Pseudo Killer on deck. What it do, man?
Peace, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be invited, man. You know what I mean? Going down.
Wipe your screen off. You got a smoky screen like you smoking
Oh,
a
my
pound of
bad.
weed, yo. You smoked
Oh,
out.
look, my phone fell in some water, right?
There you go. Yeah, you
I mean, my
smoked out
bad.
over there,
Get a little
fogged
smudge,
out, yo.
little smudge. Little smudge on that
This
joint.
dude go to wiping it some more so he can smudge it some more.
Oh man,
Hey,
all the way fucked up.
hey,
My bad.
I'm Boss. What's up, man? #1 black allergist, man. What's up? What's good? I'm Boss. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm digging over here.
Pseudo Killer on deck, man. I heard you got a popping channel, man. Make sure y'all go over there and hit that subscribe button, man.
Oh yeah, we definitely live over there.
They live over there, yo. We be having Pseudo starving. I'm like, damn. Then convince my man Corey. I gotta talk to you, Corey. What's going on, man? Damn.
Nah, that's expensive me, man.
What's up, Corey? Pseudo
what's
Killer
going
on deck.
on?
How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brothers? Peace, man. Peace to the panel. Peace to the chat. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't want to know who we are. We're gonna let them know who we are, man. Hey,
No
what's
doubt.
going on, Vance? What it
What's
do,
going
brother?
on?
Pseudo Killer on deck.
Pseudo Killas on deck. Peace to the panel.
Yeah, you know it. Last but not least, you always starting shit. I'm tell you right now, Chevron, Baltimore D.
Feel
What's
me?
going on? Pseudo Killer on deck, man. What's up with you?
Ain't nothing. What's up with everybody? You know what I mean, I've been talking to y'all all day, but what's up with the chat? You know what I mean, a couple people that hollered at us in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I'm chilling. Ray had this discussion. You know what I mean? Introduce ourselves, introduce, you know what I mean, what we're gonna try to bring to the community.
Yeah, we ain't gonna smash nobody out, man. We having fun. And when it's time to put our collective effort together to deal with any type of information and scholarship, we definitely prepared for it. Ain't no ignorant over here. Who got some books? Y'all got some books? What you reading over there, Sheffin? What you got? Let me see. What you
know,
got?
I'm reading everything right now. You feel me?
What you got?
And I definitely
Definitely keep me plugged with the books, man.
Yeah, I definitely, you know what I mean. I try to keep the team up on anything I can help y'all with science books, anything on cutting edge technology. You feel me? That's what we into.
Give me some titles, yo.
All right, let me see. Let me open up my book.
Look at my library, man.
Yeah, let me look at my library.
Y'all new age. Y'all on phones looking at your library.
I'm working.
I'm tripping. We're gonna be here all night talking about
I'm getting
pull up my
old, yo.
library.
Right. Good. CK actually the book queen. You feel me?
Queen the books. MBK too.
Yeah, she
got that
working on
you
this
know what I
jump
mean?
right here, man.
I'm working on that Welcome to the Universe. I'm working on 3 of them right now, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to the book. Hey man, make sure y'all get in the chat. What you got right there, Kent? What you got? Let me see what you holding up there.
That's that until the end of time. I'm working on this right now, man. I'm trying to finish that up right there. You know what I mean?
So you saying you're gonna actually hold up a white boy book? Really?
I mean, hey, white
boy books now?
I mean, hey, I fuck with the white boys, man.
What's
finished
that?
This jump.
What you got?
The Social Leap. This the jump with William Von Hippel, man. He talked about the evolution of the, you know what I mean?
Social Leap, y'all. Go get the Social Leap.
But I fuck with.
Let me see.
That's
What's
my
that?
man. I just got done with that one. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You reading heavy over there? Let me see. Matt, yeah, you reading heavy right there. Definitely reading heavy right there. What you got, Vance? What you reading?
Oh man. Plenty of books. Hold on, let me cut the light on.
Yeah, we booked up over here. Don't underestimate. We booked up. Trust me.
Bill Branson, Short History of Nearly Everything, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Origins, 14 Billion Years of Cosmic Evolution, A New History of Life, The Radical New Discoveries About the Origins of Evolution of Life on Earth, The Big Bang, Joseph Silk, Brief History of Time, Stephen Hawking, The End of Faith, Sam Harris, Ancestors in Our Genome, Eugene Harris, Fear of Physics, Lawrence Krauss, Sapiens.
Got that white work.
Yeah, definitely.
He got the right
Sapiens,
word.
Sapiens, you know what I mean? Yuval Noah
I
Harari.
gotta get that Sapiens.
Biological Theory of Race at the Millennium. The Emperor Wears New Clothes, Joseph L. Graves. And I got John G. Jackson and Dr. Ben, but I ain't want to throw them out. You know what I'm saying? Them names we already know about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got John Henry Clark. I got, a couple of them names. But yeah, man, that his library sound like mine.
What you got, Corey? What you got?
Exactly.
I got
know.
Tim Whitemarsh, you know what I'm saying?
And I
Speak up
got
a little
hard
bit.
copies,
Gods
though.
of Atheism.
Okay.
I got Neil deGrasse Tyson, Welcome to the Universe. I got Astrophysics for People in a Rush by Neil deGrasse Tyson again. I got Lawrence Krauss, A Universe from Nothing. I got a bunch of, I got plenty to read, you know what I'm saying? I stay up on all of, you know what I'm saying, that cosmos.
I got some of that Dawkins too. The God Delusion, of course.
I got
that God
I don't got
Delusion.
them, but I read that back in the day. The Blind Watchmaker by Richard Dawkins. I read that back in the day.
Oh, okay.
I think his earliest books right there.
Yeah.
The Blind Watchmaker.
I never read The God Delusion before. Oh, you
Blind
got
Watchmaker, definitely read that. That's definitely, you feel me?
Yeah.
The way that he breaks it down, far as wise, if all of the pieces, you feel me, of a watch, if you seen a watch laying in the grass, right, and it was completely assembled, you would think that it was a maker. You dig what I'm saying? If you compare that to how we look at life, you know what I mean? You see all of the different components, a person to think that something actually put that together. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
The way he breaks it down step by step, he show you that belief is just what it is. Belief. You dig what I'm saying?
He talk about one chapter, he talk about nature, how you you look at a rock sitting on the ground and you say, well, that rock is natural, you know what I'm saying? And then you put a watch next to that rock, you know what I'm saying? And because of pre-knowledge, you know what I'm saying? You already know that watch is made by a person, you know what I'm saying? So when you're looking out in the universe, you don't see things like watches out in the universe, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he just go in deep.
It kills the intelligent design argument.
Yeah. I read that. That was a while ago. I read that. So,
Dawkins a beast, man. He just,
they say that
they can't
God
fuck with him.
Delusion was good, but I haven't read that one yet. I don't know if any of y'all read the God Delusion.
Yeah, I got it. I thought I sent it to you.
I might have that. You might have sent it to me. If not, I get it.
Yeah, I got that God Delusion. He actually had a special about that junk too. He had a special on the God Delusion along with the book. Yeah.
You muted, huh? You muted. If he was talking. I don't know if he was talking.
Oh shit. And look, working on this and working on this thick ass junk, man. This is gonna take a little minute for me right here, but that's one of them jumps.
What's that?
The Art of Research.
Yeah, I'm working on that, man. That's gonna take a little minute for me right there. They be having some thick books, man. That's gonna take a minute, but
Y'all should read Douglas Blackman book, Slavery by Another Name.
I got that.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh shit, y'all couldn't hear me talk. My shit was on mute.
Hell no.
Yeah, they said it was on mute.
Y'all crazy, yo. What you reading, Unbiased? What you got? Let's see.
I got a bunch of stuff. Matter of fact, most of the stuff you guys mentioned, I got that stuff.
You got some stuff we don't got. Let's see.
Yeah, of course. I got Lisa Randall, Dinosaurs and Dark Matter. I got Stephen Hawking, The History of Time. You dig? I got Tyson.
Yeah, History of Time was dope. The History of Time is dope.
I got that on the audio. Yeah, I ain't even mentioned my audio books, man.
Yeah, you already know I'm hooked up with viruses, vaccine, history of vaccines, chemistry, You already know how to do with that. Big Bang, I got many Big Bang books. I got the God Delusion. I got the book that I'm telling me to get by Stephen Hawking. I got some real stuff over here, man. I got a large library. Yeah, so we are definitely booked up. We're booked.
Now we just gotta write them.
Yeah. Well, hey, let me add this. First of all,
I'm really a writer. I'm a reader, though.
Yeah, I say I'm a researcher. I'm not an author. I'm a researcher, but more importantly, when you was talking about poverty and spirituality, well, poverty and get rich schemes go hand in hand too.
Yep. Let me show you what y'all got. Y'all niggas, y'all got too many white boys for me, man. I got some damn Dr. Ben right here, man. Y'all talk about, man, I know I'm the old dude, man. I got some Dr. Ben. That's where I learned my evolution from. Here goes something else. Y'all seen this before. Over 2,500 deities of the world. All right? Y'all got any of y'all got that Encyclopedia of the Gods?
Nope.
No, I don't got that one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Hey.
Like I said, if any of y'all ever decide to send me a list of any of the books that y'all have physical, I can try to find them digital.
You know, I got some Asar Hotep for real. This is a good chapter on science in here, man. All right. And this is my favorite. Y'all can say the hell y'all want to say. This one goes out to Mr. Sean. We're going to read a little section from here. We're going to talk about, matter of fact, Asar Hotep made a post. Y'all read that? I put that in the chat, right? About the Egyptians, the early Egyptians, right?
Yeah.
We talk about that. We're going to talk about with Chancellor. That's why I learned that with Chancellor, right? And then I got biological psychology. You know what I'm saying? I like getting textbooks and shit. You feel me? I'm always, my magazine game is on high, man. New Science, Scientific America, you know what I'm saying? And I got I got access to all the journals, Journals of Nature, Journal of Science, and I done picked up a lot of them books that y'all got. Had a few, but y'all really got an extensive collection. Me and Kent go back and forth on that, right? So the question is, who the hell are we, man? First of all, we don't believe in God. And y'all can cut it and slice it any kind of way you want. Like real black atheism. You got, what you call what you do there? Corey, I always mess your shit up. It's funny.
Anti-theism. Anti-theism, man.
Anti-theism. So all that fit real well. All right, everybody got different varying degrees on how they believe. The real black atheism, it's taking all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's based off the individual. And I think the first thing I want to say is this before we get into who we are. How and what you believe, right, doesn't make you African. Because I can make the statement, fundamentally speaking, all human beings that walk on earth is African, right? And if you do enough study over time, different cultures change beliefs and believe certain things, right? So because you black does not mean you have to subscribe to a certain God. That's the trick. All right? Well, you're not African if you don't believe in a deity or God. That's not the truth. It's not the truth. And so we reserve the right not to believe. We reserve the right not to believe in a state-sponsored religion. Hey, Sheffrin, get that little article on atheism, right? And let's deal with the different degrees real fast.
You got it.
Because it's a trip. Most people try to bog you down with one definition. We're not going to allow that. You can't bog us down like that.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't going to do that. What is the first chapter? What is that? Let me see.
All right. Atheism is in the broadest sense an absence of belief in the existence of deities. Less broadly, atheism is a rejection of the belief that any deities exist. In an even narrower sense, atheism is specifically the position that there are no deities. Atheism is contrasted with theism, which in its most general form is the belief that at least one deity exists. Now, where you want to be at is
right here at the mount.
This what I said.
The second,
the etymological.
Yeah.
The etymological root for the word atheism originated before the 5th century BCE from the ancient Greek athos, meaning without gods.
Okay.
In antiquity, it had multiple uses as a pejorative term applied to those thought to reject the gods worshipped by the largest society.
Hold on for a minute. So this whole thing we're going through lately, huh? Go ahead.
That's the one.
All right, got you. So what we're going through right now, people is mad if you reject the African God. And it's kind of really showing your religious standpoint on the subject, because if you wasn't religious, you would have enough sense to know that you can study African deities and get a cultural understanding of those people. You wouldn't have to believe that there was actually a daggone God or deity. You just wouldn't have to believe that. You know, we smart enough to study deity, you know what I'm saying? Because we understand that man and women made God. God is really a human idea. The ants don't do it. But go ahead to the next point, Sheffrin.
Those who were forsaken by the gods, or those who had no commitment to the belief in the gods.
Hold on, no commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So we having a debate now. Hey, Yanni Mo. No, Onyx, bring me my cord from my computer cut off, please, bro. It's right there. You see it? You gotta move quick though. It's in there, in the sofa. My light is blinking. Can he make it? Can he make it? No commitment, right? So if you ain't running around chanting and doing all that, you ain't got no commitment to it. Am I not right or wrong on my mission? Most people, why? You know what's funny? Most people in our community do not have commitment to any God.
And in that sense, they could be considered an atheist. It falls within the realm of atheism.
Right.
So we done gave y'all 2 forms of atheism already.
It's like Dawkins said, man, everybody's an atheist. We just go one God further. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right, so where we at? We had the commitment to it, right?
Right.
All right, most people ain't got no damn commitment.
Those who were forsaken by the gods, or those who had no commitment to the belief in the gods.
All right, now, so man, come on, man. So you, as an African American, do not have to feel ashamed because you're not praying to the gods. No, I gotta get fixed. I got you, man. I'm gonna get it fixed. I'm gonna give you this. Y'all hear that though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like praying to the gods, yo. And most of y'all ain't praying to the gods. Matter of fact, y'all reduce it to one God. And then y'all make that up, and which is cool, right? It's just, all right, what's next, Sheffrin?
All right, the term denoted a social category created by Orthodox religionists into which those who did not share their religious beliefs were placed. So that's the third one. People who don't share your religious beliefs, the Orthodox religions at the time deemed those people atheists also.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. So when you start telling your family, hey, you know, I believe in a soul or that, they're like, what? You don't believe in Jesus Christ? What you mean, son, you don't believe in God? Y'all know that, right? When you trying to explain to your family how, you know, African had a God, they're like, no, they didn't. No, they might did, but it's the wrong one.
But it makes sense though, because think about it. If I believe that all other gods are false and they're not real God, that they don't exist, if you say you believe in one of the gods that don't exist, that's false, then obviously in my eyes, you're atheist because you don't believe in God, the real God. You believe in some fake made up shit that's not real. So that makes you an atheist according to them. You feel me?
Right.
Because you can't even commune with the real God. So you're atheist.
Yeah, go to your grandma's house for the African God thing if you want to.
Right.
Yeah, she ain't going for that.
Telling you believe in her root.
She ain't trying to hear that. She ain't trying to hear that
about
Jesus
what God
black.
you worshiping.
Right. Try to tell your grandmother that her root.
No, you ain't worshiping Jesus.
No, try to tell your grandmother that her root is actually Jesus.
Oh,
and watch how she shut that shit down.
Hey. Yeah. Hey, my grandma I ain't even sure I can tell her Jesus is a black man.
Right.
Don't make him black.
Don't make him black.
Man.
And even the black picture, and even the black picture, even the black picture still look like a white man. It's like a black nigga with blonde hair. Damn.
Right. They permed your shit out.
He got that. He got some slick. It's slick and smooth.
Nigga nose pointed in the motherfucker.
Right.
All right, y'all want to hear something funny?
Go ahead.
In truth, everybody that claim, they believe in certain days and all that, they're only one God away from being a damn atheist anyway. They only got one more God than we got. You feel me? And depending on where you at, you know what I'm saying, the whole situation is interesting. So let me start with you, Sheffrin. Who are we, man? To you.
I feel like we lay researchers. You feel me? Meaning we the everyday folks that you see on your job. You feel me? You pass in the streets. You feel me? People you talk to in the barbershop. But we read. We try to stay abreast on cutting edge information. We try to make sure everything that we talk about is right and exact. You dig what I'm saying? According to modern standards. You feel me? Not saying that it can't change. You know what I mean? Not saying that we hold the ultimate truth, but it's the truth as of now. You dig what I'm saying? Being as though I work in a barbershop, right? I want to be a voice, a reason, you know what I mean, in that type of place. So that's why I read as much as I do. Because a lot of information that Black people get, you know what I mean, we get it from when we were children, listening to adults. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You be surprised things that you heard in the barbershop that you took, you know what I mean, to heart. And you carry that, a lot of us carry that stuff nowadays. So sitting in the barbershop for years, certain conversations will go on, right? And I would see children sitting around. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I need to jump in here and try to clear this up because I remember taking crazy ideas back to school with me. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And arguing with teachers or disagreeing with them, you feel me? From stuff that I heard from reckless adults in our community. So I try to read and stay abreast and be a pseudo killer in that aspect to combat the everyday misinformation that goes through our community.
Yeah, you was arguing that the earth revolve around planet Risk.
You're crazy. Where you at, Vance?
Right here. I'm still on here. Well, for me, Pseudo Killas represents comfortability in being a Black person who isn't spooked out and religious. And this conscious, quote unquote, conscious community, they claim to separate themselves from that spooked mentality, but they're kind of in the same paradigm. So I feel like we take it a step further by shedding ourselves of all those things and allowing other people who look like us and anybody who just wants to look up science and technology and things of that nature and look at what is in reality rather than anything other than that, and be comfortable in that. And like Chevron said, most of the elders above us spooked out. They gave us certain ideas that they took to heart because the elders before them gave them those same ideas and they took it to heart. And they look at us and we're not supposed to have any back talk to them. We're just supposed to take it and pass it back or pass it down. So we putting a halt to all that. We putting a stop to all that. So I don't want to be too long-winded, but yeah, that's what the Pseudo Killas is to me. Y'all heard me?
Yeah, I heard you.
We heard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I was about to say, damn, was I on mute?
No, yeah, I got you. No, I was feeling that. Go ahead, brother Corey. Man, who are we, man?
Yeah.
What's up?
For me, man, it's, it's just a platform for everyday average people, you know what I'm saying, to come on, get some information, within the science and technology realm, have some fun, talk some jokes. This is a lax, you know what I'm saying, type of channel. It's not so formal, you know what I'm saying? So, that's where I'm at with it. And, you know what I mean? I just, it's a lot of pseudo shit out there. It's a lot of misinformation out there. It's a lot of religious people in the community. So I just want to be somewhere where, it's Black people that's, everyday average, I'm a construction worker, you know what I'm saying? But I don't believe that shit. I don't believe in religion and all that. So this is the lane where I can come to and I can have a conversation with like minds, shit like that. So that's basically where I'm at with it, I like to do a lot of reading and I like to do a lot of research, you know what I'm saying? And, so if we could come up on a topic, you know what I'm saying, in my lane where I research a lot about the cosmos and stuff. So I like to talk about that a lot. So, you know what I mean? I'm up on evolution a little bit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, if that conversation come up, then we can have a conversation about that. But, I'm here to learn from everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got a little bit of everything to bring to the table. And, I just like to have this lane to where we can do it in a relaxed, you know what I'm saying, type of atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? To say, we don't believe that shit over here, you know what I mean?
We ain't doing for it.
If you out there and you don't believe that shit, then this the lane for you. If you ain't feeling that, then this ain't the lane for you. So that's all. It's real.
Okay. Unbiased, how about you, man?
You dig?
Where you at?
Pseudo Killer. You dig? Allergy Killer. Anybody can get it. Africans, Puerto Ricans, pseudos can. No holds bar. Don't take blood, water. Everybody. All right. That's where I'm at it. Scholarship over friendship.
Okay. Yeah, you trying to keep us in trouble. I ain't listening to you, yo. You crazy.
We need a rabble rouser, man.
There you go. We already know.
I mean, hey.
Who to mute out? Who to mouth? So Kent, man, what's up, man? Talk to us, bro. Who are we, man?
Yeah, I feel like this the paradise for the black sheep, man. You know what I'm saying? We gonna ask the questions. We ain't gonna believe just because the crowd say, hey, we need to go with this, or the elders say, hey, we need to go with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, after a while, you start questioning everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we should be able to do that. Everybody should be able to be challenged. We welcome challenges. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we move forward and grow. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's needed to have a like you say, scientific literacy. You know what I'm saying? So that we can check each other and check the information that's being brought. Not just to, we ain't trying to down nobody or nothing, but everybody trying to get the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we just go the distance with it. You know what I'm saying? We don't care if it's what everybody going with, it's the popular thing, or it's what the respected individuals is doing. It's the truth is the truth at the end of the day, and then we just gonna rock with it. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
That's real, yo. That's real. CK, what's good, sis? How you doing?
Peace. Once again. you know, chilling. When I first kind of heard about the Pseudo Killas, I thought that was really interesting because a lot of the things that y'all were saying was a lot of things that I was thinking and saying as well. And like I said before, I wasn't convinced ever since I was a kid. And I ain't confused as an adult. You know, enough with the personality worship, enough with the, oh, we like you so much, you're so smart, we're just gonna agree with you. Like Unc like to say, you either source up or you're gonna shut the hell up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if you ain't got your sources, we can go get some. We have the internet nowadays. We can pull up almost anything that we want and try to find the truth, because death to the pseudos.
All right. So I like to first say that I understand who the different families are very well. Mossy, that's like my favorite. You know, I'm a Mossy clan warrior. And I appreciate the brothers over there. Brother Kofi, you know what I'm saying? Sean, Ben, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give y'all the rest of the names in a minute. I don't wanna mess their names up. And I just, you know, I appreciate the work they do. Hell, Sean, from day one, he writing, man. Check out Voices of Fire blog. You can find all of Sean's works over there, yo. And, you know, that's what he do. He like to write, man. And, you know, he just a dude who want, you know how you should always live the life that you want to see in the world? Yeah, he like that. So he feel like, man, everybody should write. And I get that. You know what I'm saying? This right here, this platform right here, there are people out there that don't want to write shit. Don't feel like it. They might want to hit the blunt, right? Here's some good facts. Go back, tell a girl who just had a baby or got 3 kids and kick some facts home. Say, man, Pharaoh has said this, but did you hear what the Pseudo Killer said? We can just look that up real quick. Oh, shoot. Youngin was tripping over there. I want to be able to speak to them. You know what I'm saying? You know, people might got a job. They ain't got time to sit down and put three years in a book, right? They have no interest in writing a book. They might not have no interest in even reading a damn book. They just might want to tune into YouTube. So you say, is it a such thing as a YouTube scholar? You damn right. All right. It's 2020. You can have a YouTube scholar with information. One of the best lectures I heard on YouTube was from Dr. Oyamaya. You feel me? You can go to a SAR channel, yo, and see a top-notch YouTube scholar. So all that YouTube scholar joke shit, that's off. You can learn how to build a car on YouTube. Okay? You can look at some of the major universities scholars on YouTube. Matter of fact, Vance ain't no joke with the damn videos. Between Vance and Kent, you know what I'm saying, and Corey, man, they be hitting you with them damn lectures on YouTube that be dead serious. And it don't be long. How about TED Talk? TED Talk. I like listening to TED Talk, bro. Black people, white people, Chinese people. Right? So, you know, with the Amaral squad, with the Masi, we like set that bar. That shit is on Mount Olympus, though. Everybody can't hang out on Mount Olympus. Everybody can't reach that level. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to talk. Sometimes I like going on the corner. I ain't gonna lie. I just do. It's just in my blood. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like to be in the mud. It's just me. I mean, what can I say? You know what I'm saying? You know, I can, you know, dine with kings and waddle with bums. That's just who I am as a person. And so I felt like things was getting over people's heads. Yo, we set the fucking gold standard around here. That's why we hated on Sarnetta TV. Because really, we be sounding like Charlie Brown to him. Womp, 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 womp. And young Pharaoh say something slick as you. Yeah, 65 million, get a pyramid. Boom. They're like, oh. And we losing. How is it that this dude is stupid as him can outmarket us and outdo us? That's because We've created lanes that are over their head, and it takes time for a person to get there. But how much damage is done to the community, to the greater Black community? I'm telling y'all, man, like when my kids start coming to me saying, well, is this true? I be like, damn, that's some pseudo ass shit. I'm saying my kids, and they live with me. I say, man, I gotta do something a little different. How the hell can your kids that live in your house, you know what I'm saying? My daughter is in college. She be shooting me shot like, nah, that's pseudo. I'm waiting for her to send me a fucking Pharaoh video in a minute. I could see it coming. So I'm not a hater, y'all. I'm a damn participator. So I understand where it's at right now. It's about breaking this stuff down in small increments, right? I'm not forcing anybody to write anything they don't want to, okay? I just want you to have some good information that you can take back to the house and inspire some young kid that will one day write that goddamn book. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't take it as serious as we take it. Like we so serious around here with the suit and tie. Yeah, you know what I mean, like everybody sit back and chill and relax. That's what we doing, man. We chilling, man. I ain't saying you gotta write no term paper. We know what the level is. We know what the standard is. The standard is the scholarly approach. But for everybody can't be no brother Reggie. That's just the truth. Like I know serious dudes that will laugh at you talking about, dude, you gonna write a book? What, write a nigga, what? And they not dumb people. So, you know what I'm saying? There are plenty intelligent people in the world that have not wrote a book. Albert Einstein, how many of y'all got Albert Einstein's book? How many books did he write? Of course, he put some things in writing. How about Professor James Smalls? How many books he got? So we go down a list of people who don't have nothing in writing, no books. Do that make them dumb? No, it don't. So we want to make sure we catch the majority of the people. We want to catch the quote unquote 90% of the people. That's the people that Pharaoh gonna be playing with. We want to get in that crowd, right? Something that's real funny, sharp, you know what I'm saying? Call it what you want. Call it what you want. But I'm saying sometimes, man, we be way up there and people can't get there. You know, people start to feel like you looking down on them, right? You know what I'm saying? Why y'all think y'all know this? Why y'all think y'all, okay, nigga, well, maybe you need to read something. I had to realize that, man, that from me to y'all got y'all books on y'all damn phone, dude. This is where we at. People on YouTube. So am I to allow this to continue to happen? That's not who I am, man. I'm gonna always try to put something together, get some like minds and create something that's serious. So we got that scholarly level where you're gonna run into an assault hotel. He's a scholar to me. We got the doctor that teach look, man, she teaching motherfucking engineering class, man. She on the Pseudo Killas. She teaching engineering. She has a doctorate degree and she teaches an engineering class and she'll FaceTime to enter the class. And I can talk to the kids about some scholarly things because they get it. They at that level. You feel me? I can run your sister Nye, man. She got a damn degree in psychology. She can talk that talk. Smash Rockwell, man, this dude like a genius, man. Between him and Lasario, I swear they geniuses. And if I ain't thinking Dr. Oyamaya is a genius, then I'm tripping. So I'm surrounded by geniuses. You feel me? So I know what the level is. So you can think about, you can't tell me I don't know what the level is. That's going to anybody that think it's something wrong, but just sitting back and giving some good information sometime, man. Yo, what page that's on, man? That's on page such and such. Make it this magazine out of Kroger. Dudes will go smoke a blunt, argue with their finger. Let's go to Kroger, get that magazine real quick. Let's see. See? We got to make ourselves what's the word? Palatable? Is that a word? Did I just make a word up? That's a word, right? Palatable, right?
Palatable.
Mm-hmm. for the people, dude. And then you still gotta have level. So check this out, y'all. I know where to send the people at. I know where the scholars. I ain't never called myself a scholar. I just say, yo, I'm a brother that read books. Look at my old work. I'm a brother that read books. I call myself a street scholar, universal street scholar. And guess what, y'all? I'm good with that. I'm working on my second book. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. So, you know, the Pseudo Killas, man, we don't want to be on the mountaintop, yo. We like being at the bottom of the mountain. That's where all the parties go at. You know what I'm saying? You ain't partying too high. Ain't enough oxygen up there. Ain't too many people can be at the top of the mountain, Joe. The clouds and shit getting away.
It ain't fun up there.
Yeah. Yeah, like, come on,
Too
man.
strict.
Everybody don't want to wear a suit and tie. I might
Nah,
want
I'm
to
just
say a
playing.
cuss word every now and then, yo. Every now and then, not every word. I might want to use some slang.
How big he said in that joke? I want to wear black hoodies and black tail or some shit.
Hey, yeah, I might want to put my hoodie on, yo. Come on, man. So, yo, we gonna kick back, man. We gonna cross our legs, man. We gonna let Egypt be Egypt and Kemet be Kemet, and y'all can fly through the air. Y'all can read y'all meta nature, man. That's just niggas a motherfucker, yo.
Yeah, okay, can we clear up one line?
Yeah, you can do your thing, unbiased. Just don't be disrespectful.
Right, I'm never disrespectful.
To Mount Olympus.
Right. But people are disrespectful. It's funny how I can't be disrespectful, but people could be disrespectful.
I'm just joking with you, yo. Do your thing, yo. Go ahead.
You know what I mean? Like when it comes to me,
You got good character over here, though, man.
Right,
yeah, we got good character. Go ahead, unbiased, and I'm gonna finish off with the character piece.
I'll be very quick. Nobody in this community taught me about vaccines. You dig? Nobody. People might have shared ideas with me, and and help influence my direction, but nobody has actually sat me down and taught me anything. All right. Matter of fact, I'm the go-to guy. So how can somebody teach me something? All right. So I want to clear that nobody taught me vaccines, and whoever you think taught me, I know more than them. Tell them pull up. I will play the opposite side. I will be Haskell. Tell them pull up.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
And yo,
My
you
lifestyle
was on Divine side though. You don't play with me though.
Yeah, but ain't nobody teaching me shit about vaccines.
Vaccines, yo. I know I ain't sit there and go blow for blow, point for point with you. I ain't got time for that. Y'all better catch up where you at. So let's deal with the character of the Pseudo Killas, man. But I don't know about unbiased, but I'm saying as far as everybody else I know, we're literally fans of the Amaral Squad and the Mossy clans and all that. MBK, like that's what we subscribe to, man. That's who we spend our money with. Ain't that right, Kent? Tell me who you done brought in for lectures, bro. Let's talk about that real quick. Mr. Kent, so they know who you really are.
You know the same Copa family that brought in you and Wu Jiao. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Wu. You know what I'm saying? I done attended the classes with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Sean, I fuck with Sean. Yeah, I mean, I ain't got no problem with them dudes, man. Like I said, I learned from them cats. I saw that's one of the greats. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Mayat, the GOAT to me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's enough said. Like it is what it is. I bought books from Wu Jiao. Nahisi, you know what I'm saying?
You done brought in, hold on, man. You done spent your bread, bro. You listen, man, let's stop playing, man. You done brought in Aswell Crazy, Star Ross, Stupid Seti. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dude, brother Unk.
I brought in Seti before he hooked up with that dude, though. You know what I'm saying? Before he hooked up with Pharaoh, that was pre-Seti back, you know what I mean? But yeah.
But you spent your money though, yo. You done bought all the shoes, all the products. Hey, Sheffrin, man, you done spent your money, man. You done met up with me in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? You spend your bread, yo. You support the teams. Am I missing this? Am I right or wrong? Is that not what you do?
Yeah, we definitely support them. You feel me? MBK, you know what I mean? All of them. You feel me? Even down to Sinetta. You feel me?
Facts.
We actually active in the community. Definitely not going against it. But being a part of it is seeing something that you want to contribute in And if it's something that you want to critique or fix or add to the equation, if, like you said, niggas spending their money, we should have the opportunity to do that, just like anybody else. You feel me? So that's where I fit in at. You feel me?
Facts. Hey, Corey, you spend your money too, bro.
No doubt, man. I support. Plus, you know, I'm subscribed to all of them channels. I'm subscribed to the Mossy Clan. You know what I'm saying? I'm subscribed to Sorry Imhotep. You know, the Seshu Money Metal Nature.
Don't say that name. Nah, that's all. Nah. No, that's all. That's out of bounds right there, bro.
Hey, but I'm subscribed to them channels, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm a supporter. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they
you know, I ain't got no problem.
You ain't gotta tell me twice not to say that name, yo. Trust me with that, yo. You ain't gotta tell me twice. Y'all stay in y'all little corner and chill. It's all good. I love y'all to death, yo. But I've been instructed not to say their name. I won't. You might not want to be tied up with a real black atheist. You might not want to be that. I get it. Character,
but they real black atheists. They real black atheists too, though. At the end of the day, though. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I'm just saying, hey, if they not, they can say they not. Then it'll be, you know. But I ain't gonna. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't want to cause no turmoil in there, yo. If they don't want me to say that, I don't want to cause no turmoil, yo. Lucky I forgot your name, Alan. I think it's Alan. I'm gonna look it up because you did. You was messing shit up, yo. And I ain't never let nobody get away with just messing shit up. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna say your name. I'm gonna make you famous, make you mad at the same time. Watch. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where you at? Hold on. I'm gonna say this name, goddammit. He mixed it all up, man. Got shit all messed up and crazy, man. Hold on.
What you talking about?
Hold on. I'm going to get it on. Hold on. I'm going to answer Sean a question to you. Hold on. 1 second. Dang. June. That's it, June. Come on, June. Come on, man. Alan, learn your history, man. Learn your history and understand what we playing and we having fun, yo. Under no circumstance did I think anybody from your side of the house attacked the damn elders, bro. Matter of fact, I started the damn conversation with Walter Williams on the show. What was the name of the show? Did one of y'all tell me the name? I forgot what the name of the damn show was. It was the Grassroots or something with my man show, yo. They had, Walter Williams was their favorite guy, elder, and he was on there and they invited me on there to talk to him. It was me and Ned and who was actually talking to the elder. And, he was getting super slick. He did all that, made it seem like we was crazy. But it was cool as the elder, you know what I mean? You always take shots from the elders. He was basically saying that the meta lecture wasn't deciphered. We was like, oh, yeah? Nah, and we had a little conversation. He basically cut us off. That was it. So we didn't even get issues. But that's the conversation, when the conversation really started. And then Seti jumped into it, called himself defending Walter Williams. Him and Pharaoh, and docked me out, was like, yo, let's just get him. Really docked me out, got us, and let's just get him. All right? And out of that, you got the beautiful book from that team, has the meta lecture been deciphered? I need to get the right title on it. So that's the whole conversation. Under no circumstance was anybody on the side disrespecting the elders. It was a fucking joke, man. That's why, take your ties off, and kick back sometimes. I think that's important. All right? That's important. Kick back sometimes, man. Kick back, yo. We can be sarcastic and have some damn fun, man. All right? So that's what we're going to do around here, man. We're going to be here every Friday. I'm trying to get that number out, man, so we can get what I said I was going to say. I said I was going to say something. What was I said I was going to say? For unbiased, you cut my thought, unbiased. You wanted to get that, call it a fun fact then. What I said I was going to do, unbiased? I'm biased.
He sleep.
Sleep already, yo.
There you go.
Expose
Huh?
the liars. You dig?
The what? The what?
Using expose the liars.
I ain't say that.
Go ahead and look. Go ahead and get it off your chest, bot.
You dig?
You know what? I'm gonna give you 5 hot minutes, yo, somewhere in the show where you can just get there.
Yeah.
We're gonna vote that in.
My man Boz got a full clip waiting for them. Yeah, he the one, yo. He the one.
He the one, yo. What was I gonna say, yo? Damn, Vance. Oh, you messing me up, messing with you. But something I wanted to say, yo. How you do that, yo? I guess it just wasn't meant to be, yo.
Hey, what's up, Sinetta over here? He said you running from Zion Lex.
Yeah, man. Nah, just put, hey. Sign that check, bro. I'm with that. I'll beat him. I'll beat the brakes off of Zion Lex with that nonsense. Just get that check right, yo. I'm with that. You know what it is. Get that right.
Man, he said you backed out that joint, man. What are you talking about?
I backed out, all right. Yeah. I back. Hey, y'all know March the 22nd, it's going down. It's going down. Jabari and Garfield, all right, Captain Zariak, and the other guy, I forget his name, the Christian guy, Bantoon, is definitely going down. We're gonna be in the building. We're gonna be in that building, man. You gonna be there, ain't you? Ain't you, Chef? What we wearing, yo? We wearing the killer. What we gonna wear? The Pseudo Killas and New Renit? What we wearing, yo?
Bias got something he said he was putting together.
You ain't sent it to me, yo.
Bro, I can. Where am I gonna send it to? Your email?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got something dope.
Huh?
I got something dope.
Yeah, we need something dope, yo. I swear, yo, we're the young. We need something dope. It's something that funny, yo.
So I never said $500 for the debate,
Nah, nigga, that ain't enough. Nope. Nope.
He said 500 cash right now.
Oh, with that, yo, I'm coming down. I get that.
Yeah, give me I'll debate Sean.
You want to debate Sean?
Yeah,
Unbiased? What you want to debate Sean on?
Don't do it, unbiased.
I'm gonna debate Sean on he's a black allergist. You know, dig?
Oh man, see there you go with that shit.
You're gonna have to define what a blackologist is.
Yeah, define. Can I define what a blackologist is? Yo, let's see if anybody fit the bill. Let's get this straight. I'm glad you brought it. A blackologist is somebody to make every goddamn thing black. You know what I mean? The Native Americans was black. The Australians was black people. The Europeans was black people. We talking about the Moors and Spain. That's a blackologist. Now you can't call a blackologist that love black people. I love black people and I love Africa. You feel me? I'm standing up for black people, man. That's what I like to do. That don't make me a blackologist because I stand up for black people and I like Africa and I like African customs and traditions. I like studying African gods, man. I love studying African gods. Y'all talk about, man. That wouldn't make me a blackologist though because I'm gonna stand up and protect black people, yo.
But that ain't what he do though.
Yeah, but you should probably have a conversation with him.
Yeah, well, before he went on live and did what he did.
You ain't never watched it. You don't know what he did. Did you watch it?
I know it's bullshit, whatever it was.
Nah, man, you ain't even see that. See, it's bad
Why would I watch this nigga rant? This nigga boring as hell.
Man, see, there you go. Now you disrespect. I can't let you disrespect.
Cool, man.
I'll bring that man on here, yo.
Man.
You don't get scared, yo, when I bring him on here, yo.
Bring that nigga on.
I'm gonna bring him on, yo.
No, he gonna go crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? Why would you? Well, I don't see. That's your 5 minutes is up, unbiased. That's your segment.
Look at I'm protecting my man.
I'm not protecting him. That's my friend, yo. And I'm not back. Come on, dude. What you talking about?
Yeah. Y'all are some funny people, man.
How we funny, yo? You ain't watched the video. Hey, Sheffin, did you watch the video, yo?
Nope.
No.
I mean, I watched the video
and
I watched the video. I mean, basically, man, you know, it's like I said, still sharp and still, man. So if he's saying like we need to tighten up, I ain't taking nothing bad from that. It's like, hey, we gotta know what we're talking
He ain't
about.
say I'm biased or nothing. He ain't do none of that, yo.
Nah, he ain't say fuck on bias or nothing like that.
I ain't do that, yo. Like, you crazy.
No, but tighten up on what?
Man,
I mean,
come
he
on,
said
yo.
we
We
said
always
we
need
should
more. We gonna
start
always
writing.
tighten up on shit, yo. That's
basically saying start writing. My issue was I had a conversation with him, right? I had a conversation with Sean. You brought me on the phone conversation with him. Me and him disagreed over whether Asians was in North Africa before the first dynasty and they was always there. I said that they was always there, right? Prior to the first dynasty, you know what I mean? And during all throughout Egyptian history. He said they wasn't. So it wasn't nothing else to talk about after that. We just was at a disagreement. I know he read enough where he didn't seen the information. You feel me? Yeah. Like, so obviously either he rejecting the information, you feel me? Or he's doing his own thing. But I know he's seen it. So it wasn't nothing else to talk about after that. So the video, I didn't watch the video because if you're going to insinuate that I need to do more studying or I need to start writing just to disagree with you, that's just crazy. You know what I mean? I'm done with it.
Yeah. All right, let me read the text right here. Chancellor Williams' book is a tertiary. Yep, that means like a third. You know, you got primary, secondary, and tertiary. So some cases, secondary source, not a primary though. That's what I'm. Sean, he listening to you, yo. I'm gonna let y'all get it in, yo.
Ain't nothing to get in. The nigga is a nobody.
A what?
Nobody. It's nothing to get in.
Man, I just tell you that's my damn friend, yo. You crazy, yo. What's wrong with you, yo? His work speak for itself, though. Yo, have you ever read any of his work, though?
What word? What word?
Yo, he actually do, yo. He actually put, yo, when that nigga say put something in writing, yo, that's because he actually did it. That's why I can't take offense to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, Corey?
Icky got some writing. What does that mean?
We ain't got no damn writing, yo. You crazy.
He does got a book. He got a couple books.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something that's funny though, yo. That last book that Inky wrote, he did have a nice. We talked about it. I looked at it. We was at Sun of the thing. He did have a nice amount of sources in there though. He wasn't just, you know what I mean. If you ain't read the book, yo, then you can't. You know what I'm saying? You gotta read the work before you make something. So if you ain't read the brother's work, show, then you can't.
Bro, I do his research, man.
I'm saying that.
You do his research. Nobody gonna believe you on that though, Bias. And I'm on your side, dude. Nobody's gonna believe that Sean don't do his research. That's crazy.
Sean do his research.
Who said that? Who said that?
You.
Bro, you making up. Oh, come on, stop doing that, bro.
All right, what you say?
Hold up now. I'm biased.
I said
this said out your mouth that he ain't writing nothing. What did he write?
Yeah,
That's not Sean's fault that you are not aware that he does write. That is not Sean's fault that you do not watch his YouTube channel to be aware
of his fault.
Writing stuff with sources. So if you weren't aware of what he actually was doing, you should not have made the statement that you just made. And then tried to pretend like you didn't make it once Unc called you out on it.
What are you talking about? Yeah, you always go left.
Yeah, niggas crazy.
I'm biased. Got some Anna on his chest, man. He want to get it off.
Yeah, he just married, yo.
Everybody, mad about what? A bum nigga? Stop.
Bum nigga. How you gonna call that man a bum? That's crazy, yo. Now you ad hominem, yo. Come on, yo.
You said I'm mad. Wait, hold on. I get personally attacked, and I'm mad.
You didn't personally attack. That's why I said, look at the video. What is wrong with you?
I have another question.
Move on, yo. He didn't.
Hey, I'm biased.
Yo.
How do you know that you were personally attacked if you didn't watch the video?
Told me.
I didn't say he attacked you.
You said he said that John will taught me vaccines. You said that.
I don't think that was on the video though.
Nah,
I watched it.
I think you might want to watch the video first.
Video, off video.
Man, the man didn't attack you, yo. God damn. Yo. That's why I said, could you please watch the video, yo? Damn.
Well,
if you would have watched the video, you wouldn't be this hype like that.
Nah, you gonna stay at 9 views. I ain't going over there. You gonna stay at 9 views.
Huh?
Yeah. This nigga.
You gonna stay at 9 views. I ain't going over there.
Oh, boy, you see, you crazy. Is he over his 5 minutes, yo?
Yeah.
Because I don't understand how, come on, man.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's just wrong, yo. That's just you crazy, yo. You gotta calm it down, yo.
Yeah, man.
Laughing, that shit ain't funny, yo. He's bugged out, yo.
Don't come for me again. I got more.
Man, the dude didn't, what is wrong? Hey, Kent, is it me, yo?
Yes, it's you. Whatever you told him, the way that you worded it.
I didn't tell him no. I said, watch the damn video, yo.
For what?
All right, he kept saying the same thing for what? I ain't say Sean attacked you.
Yeah, if you watch the joint, he said ain't nothing. If you watch the joint, he said ain't nothing to cry about. He ain't trying to diss nobody. This and that. It just came off.
That's what I say.
Yeah, but like I said, I fuck with Sean.
I mean, y'all always have y'all little thing, yo. Whatever y'all got going on,
I don't have anything with him, bro.
Huh?
I don't have any. You keep saying that. I don't have anything with this dude. I don't mention this dude's name at all. Zero. None of my lives.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, y'all need to talk that shit out. Talk it out live.
Yo, you sound crazy. If I don't mention my man's name at all, he mentions me. What I gotta talk about? That's crazy.
Right. You don't gotta talk to him. But I'm saying that's Sean. He can say that. I'm saying that's Sean, yo. I know you don't think he nobody, yo. Yeah. And I personally think he's somebody.
Yeah.
You got your right to think that. The man do his damn homework, yo. Not to mention I know his damn family. Not to mention he's a loyal supporter. Not to mention he didn't drove miles to follow me around. Not to mention he didn't spit like, God damn, I'm biased. Like, I wouldn't do you like that. What you want me to do? You put me in a bad spot. You know what I'm saying? I'm an honorable man, yo. Come on, dude. I gotta stand up for my friends, else I'm just a sucker. I ain't a sucker. Come on, yo. That's why I said watch the video. He ain't gonna disrespect us like that. Because he know what the deal is. He just felt like we should do some more things. And the reason we do this show is to show him that, wait a minute, we wasn't trying to write.
I don't think anybody on this panel is a scholar.
That's what we doing. Can't nobody can knock you for saying how you want to do business. They can only knock you when you say you're going to do business this way and you don't do it this way. Or you pretend to be somebody you're not. Like Jabari. They really not ancient Egyptians. That's the difference right there. Okay. Enough of that. It got real weird for a minute there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Sean, man. I know you're in the building somewhere, man. Look, it is what it is. If y'all want to get a personal debate on something, I don't know what y'all could possibly debate. Oh, whether Sean was a black allergist or not.
And his methodology, too. That 2/3 shit.
All right, what's the claim then?
The claim is what he said. My man thought 2/3 was less than 50%.
So he made a mistake in numbers.
Ain't no damn mistake. He argued. No. He argued that shit. The chat was correcting that motherfucker. He argued with the chat. That's not a mistake when you argue. That's a debate.
Man, we all make mistakes.
No, he didn't debate. Look at CK. Look at CK. She ignored. He debated the damn thing. That's not the mistake when you debate it. The chat corrected.
I mean, but
isn't that what somebody does when they're wrong about something and they think that they're right?
Okay, so when you hold up. So when you debate something and you're wrong, aren't you just wrong? You don't know at that point. You don't know, right? That's why.
And that's no different than your child arguing with you and you know that you're right.
Yeah, well, he is a child.
But the kid thinks that they're right. They can make mistakes.
Right. He is a child.
Man, you just don't like him, yo. You can't just like that.
Yeah,
man.
you don't
That's
like
a
him.
grown-ass man, yo, with a family. Now you call him a child, yo. You just crazy, yo.
You keep saying, hey,
I don't understand what unbiased is taking so personal for.
Unbiased, man. You like going far, yo.
Your narrative is corny as shit. You keep saying I don't like him. If you come at me, I'm
Hold
going.
on, what you say? I didn't hear you. What you say, Unbiased? Just now, say it again?
Corny as shit. You keep trying to make it about
I couldn't hear you. You say the what was corny?
Your narrative is corny as shit. You're trying to paint it. You're trying to paint it like I'm coming at him. He came at me, and all I'm trying to say is this: if anybody,
hold on for a minute.
How did he come at you though?
Yeah, hold on. How did he come at you? You never watched the video to see if he came at you.
I got 3 seconds, bro. God damn. I'm just saying, whoever comes at me, I'm going full throttle. Period. That's all.
All right, so let me get this straight. The big homie got a corny narrative.
Who's the big homie?
Me, I'm the big homie, yo. You ain't know that, yo?
Corny narrative, yeah. You're trying to paint him as a victim, and I'm the guy coming at him.
All right, okay. So since we want to talk about this shit.
You can't even explain what he did.
Yeah, explain what he did, yo. What he come at you with?
Unc told me.
What I say, get it right now. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, I'm going to get it right. You told me that he said Wujawo taught me about vaccination. That's what you said.
And what else I said?
But how is that disrespectful?
Hold on. What else did I say?
Hold up. How can that's like me saying? That's like me saying. Wait. I'm going to answer a question. That's like me saying Ngozi taught Wujawo this Dishesh.
Okay.
All right. That'd be
all the flipping claims you want, but that's not disrespectful just because he made a claim.
That would be offensive to him, all right? And everything that he's building for himself.
So
it seemed like you taking it personal. Let's just say he did say that. You're taking that super personal.
Hey, CK, watch this.
Weird people, yeah.
Hey, I'm biased.
That's some weird people.
Hey, I'm biased. Me and you, we really argued for like a half an hour over that point. Do you not remember that?
Argue what?
I can't believe
you argued about the teaching part. I was like, nah, hold on, yo. Because you was cutting me out. You wouldn't let me finish. I said, you know what? For real, won't you watch the video?
Nah, I'm not watching that video.
No. I'm saying the other day when we argued, when you said, I said, that Wu-Da taught you about vaccines, right? I was like, as a matter of fact, Lester, because we argued for about a half an hour on that point. You was like, nah. I was like, well, I said, you know what? To get it clear, why don't you just watch the video so we can be sure about what he said? Did I not say that to you?
You told me what he said.
Oh man, hell with that, man. Now see.
So you're believing that Unc is telling you the truth that he probably could not.
If I tell him 10 times, watch the video. Can we get a question in the chat room?
But let's get into the. Is
it possible that he could have mistranslated something or misheard what he?
All right, we went too far.
we got 100 people watching.
Yeah, we too far. We too far, boss. We got
100 people watching.
You didn't watch the video, so you didn't watch the video, dude. The man didn't disrespect you in the video. All right, told you.
If we got a point that we would like to debate him on, that would be more interesting than
right.
Who like who and who got a problem with who.
Right.
Yeah, this YouTube, you can have a problem with anybody.
Sean, cool people.
I agree with you on that, yo. I agree with you on that.
Sean was just passionate that day.
I'm passionate right now.
I don't know what y'all did that day, but y'all triggered Sean.
Girl,
and that's more the issue right there.
You triggered Sean, but you ain't triggered me though, right? You sound crazy.
What are you talking to now, Unbiased?
Oh no, you guys are clown. Yeah, she said, oh, he was just passionate, so I'm not passionate. Oh, Sean was triggered. I'm not triggered. Like, stop.
But you ain't triggered. You ain't watched that damn video.
No.
If you'd have watched the video, you wouldn't be saying all this shit right now.
You really wouldn't. I can tell
you
he didn't watch the video because I didn't take it personal. And
yeah,
it came at me too.
Do that, yo.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm sorry, Unbiased, yo. You fucking crazy, yo. I almost thought about cussing you out just now, but I had to realize, yo, I ain't tripping.
Anybody can get it.
Yeah, all right, okay. Be ready though.
All right.
Be right. Hey, look, hey, Shepard, he gonna dive out there. See, I ain't diving out there with him to get beat down.
Anybody can get it, bro.
Nah, dude. But now you talk. Hold on, let's do this. See, now you went from how you put it, Shepard.
What?
We just dealing with the average people, right? Right? Didn't we say that?
Yeah.
Now this nigga want to step all the way up in class. Which one is it? The everyday old person who might not want to read this and might not want to write that, or you want to step all the way up in class where it requires you to respond and write. So I'm gonna tell you like Ed tell you, nigga, put that shit in writing, yo. What's your question? What's your question? Put it in writing. Do that. Write down the question, your debate question. Write it down. Right? Let me check it. And I'm gonna give it to Sean, and we can get it like that. You want to do it like that?
I got nigga.
Huh?
I have nothing to say to that dude, man.
Oh, okay. All right. So now I get it. I got you off the ledge now. Now we see what you at. Let's go to the chat room and see if we got any questions. We can put the link in the chat room, see anybody want to come on and ask a question or something. What'd you say you wanted to do, Chevron? Did we want to get the Asian? What we want to do real quick?
Oh, the Asians, me and Sean, if you listening, the Asians being in Egypt pre-dynastic and during the whole dynastic period. We was having that discussion, a disagreement on it. He took the position that they wasn't, and he sent me to Seti the First tomb, a relief on one of the walls, the Table of Nations. He kept saying, look at, I don't know how that proved that they wasn't there. Like that was like a moot point, but you know, I don't know. I know you wanted to bring out Chancellor Williams because you had got into me and Sean disagreement when you was on the phone and you was trying to tell them that they was always there too, and you was pointing them to Chancellor Williams' work.
Hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Hold on, my phone break down. Hold on, let me get this.
And see, that don't require writing. It's already been written on. We can just pull sources on it. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Everything I don't need to write. They already did the writing for me. You feel me? like why do I need to write? Let's go to the experts. You feel me? Was Asians always in North Africa?
I believe they was. I don't believe it was. I'm sure they was.
What do we got to write about? Man.
All right, let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, the experts already wrote it.
Right. You can go to page 50 in Destruction of Black Civilization.
You on 50?
Page 50.
I'm on 98. Hold on. Black Island Review. Hold on.
Everybody named the books that we read. That means that we're just reciting or quoting what was already read. Why I gotta read or write Stephen Hawking book over it? He already read it.
I agree with it. Right.
I would think that the only reason that.
All right, yeah, Sean said he mentioned, hold on, yo. Sean said he mentioned the Table of Nations in the Tomb of Seti the First because in the Table of Nations is proof that the Remish separated themselves from the Asians. They were foreign. If they was always there, why would they be foreign? Because you might got different. I think you got different tribes of Asians. I'm thinking that's it. What you say? That's something.
I don't even agree with that assessment. That's what it was saying.
All right.
He's using that as an argument against whether it was Asians already living in the Delta. That, you know what I mean? That don't even make sense to me. That's like acknowledging that it's African Americans that's in America and it's Africans who have their own nation outside of America. Both those could be true at the same time. You feel me? You have Africans living in America and you have Africans who have their own nation outside of America. Just like you had Asians living in North Africa and you had Asians who had their own nation in fucking Asia. You know what I mean? Showing a relief of different people, you know what I mean, don't mean that they wasn't in Egypt or they wasn't a part of the Egyptian dynastic, the people in the Egypt. What you say, Unbiased?
You don't know nothing about no damn Egypt. Do you, Unbiased? He ain't studied that. We talked the Big Bang though. Come on.
I can tell you what wasn't in Egypt.
What? Go ahead. Say it. I dare you. I dare you.
Stop. We didn't trash you already. Stop, bro.
You say what?
I said, bro, we already did a show on this, and we proved that there ain't no certain shit in Egypt, bro. They had no idea what the hell Adam was. So let's stop.
What they got to do with the Asians? Yo, you switch it up. Did I mishear that?
Yeah, I just said I could tell you. I just said I could tell you what they didn't have in Egypt, and you said,
yeah. Oh, all right.
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna go to page 50.
Yeah, go ahead.
Destruction of Black civilization. He's talking about different approaches to how Europeans were studying Egypt. He said the new approach. The first period will begin with prehistory, primarily because now one of the oldest cities on earth was begun by Blacks before recorded history. Another important reason is that the Canaanites and Asians had invaded the Nile Delta and established a stronghold in Lower Egypt in prehistoric times. The early concentration of whites along the seacoast of the land of the Blacks is a circumstance of crucial importance in Black history, because it was exactly from this development that the achievements of the Blacks were overshadowed by later writers who blotted out the history. He's basically saying what I was saying, that they was always there in the Delta and along the seacoast. Sean said they wasn't.
All right, let me go to page 98 real fast.
Okay.
It says another pre-dynastic situation to keep in mind concerns government in the two lands. All Asians had their kings in Lower Egypt, and the Blacks had their kings in Upper Egypt. The long drawn out wars, right, between the two races were over the unification and control of the two lands. They say these struggles apparently had been going on since the Asian incursion, okay, began in prehistoric times. And it was not just the control of all of Egypt to the first cataract that was involved, but the unification rule of the whole Ethiopian empire from the Mediterranean Sea to the very source of the Nile. It say this great design and all-consuming objective throughout the history of Africa must be understood. If, for example, one is to understand why even Black pharaohs of Egypt carried the wars into the heartland of their own race, trying to subdue a rebelling Nubian or Wawet or Kush, Southern separatist movements and rebellions spread as Asian influence and integration spread in the North. It's a viewing the outcome from a long perspective of history, Menace, great victory over the Asians. He said it was a victory over the Asians, right?
Mm-hmm.
The union of the white and Black lands, and the subsequent policy of trying to promote brotherhood throughout through integration. All these turned out to be not a victory for Blacks, but the beginning of their ultimate downfall and almost permanent degradation as a people. They say it has been pointed out that up to the time of Menace, victory over them and Asians were rather firmly held behind a borderline along the 29th parallel. Y'all know what the 29th parallel is? It's a few were allowed in the all Black region of Upper Egypt. With the unification situation rigidly changed in that the gate to the south were now open to the people who already held a fourth of the country. He's basically saying that when they beat the war, that allowed the Asians to move back and forth in the land. Before that, they was just barred up out of there. You know what I'm saying? In Upper Egypt. It's interesting. So, okay, so we need to get some primaries on it. So the next step in this, Chevron, so can we find some data to back up what Chancellor said?
Yeah, we got to see if he disagrees with Chancellor.
Go ahead.
First, we got to see if he disagrees with Chancellor Williams, what Chancellor Williams put forth, and then we can go further.
Yeah, Sean, I'm gonna tell you what Sean said. He says a tertiary source. So you got primary source, secondary source, tertiary source.
Okay.
Hold on. He said, how you gonna invade somewhere if he was already there? So I don't think he agrees with it.
Okay.
Let me get my come back next week with some sources on that. What Reggie saying?
Reggie said they was always there.
What did he say
He
about
said
the
that 30
phenotypes?
minutes ago.
Hey man, make sure y'all hit that. Let me stop for a minute, man. Make sure y'all support Meltrex, man. All right, that's important. Make sure y'all go to the Voices of Fire, right? Make sure y'all subscribe, right, to the Mossy Clan, all right, and check out those detailed videos on Real Africa. I call it the Real Africa. And that's why I've been so mad lately, because I know where the real Africa at. Talking about Real Africa now. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe, man. Need to get all those subscribers up, and we need to get all the numbers up across the board on all the channels, man. That's very important, man. All right, I'm gonna put that let me see. Hit that GoFundMe link too. Need Brother Reggie, Brother Garfield, hopefully Truth, right? Gonna be at that Museum of Natural History for a couple hours, and then we're gonna go to the Egyptian Museum. What's the name of that museum, Reggie? Oh, really? Reggie said, I gotta bring you on, Reggie. Hey, Reggie, I'm gonna give you the link, yo. The compound bow. He said the Asians created the compound bow. Oh man, you know you're getting Reggie. Reggie did not say that. Did you know that, Sheffrin?
Nope.
He said they created a compound bow. No, the Nubians did, didn't they? Dang. There you go, Reggie. Come explain that, yo. I don't believe that. And I'm gonna tell you now, just because you're a black man in America and you just design something, you still a damn American. So the Americans still did it. Y'all know that rule, right?
Mm-hmm. That's just like Edison.
Yeah.
Edison Laboratories had so many different patents and stuff. He was given credit for it, but he had so many different engineers and people that worked under him that once you worked into his laboratories got the credit for it. Same way that Apple, when they create stuff, you know what I mean? There'd be individual architects and engineers that creates those things. But since they work for Apple, Apple gets the credit for it. So it goes the same way. If a black person in America invents something, it will be an American invention. Where I'm biased at? CK, what's up? You on mute?
Yeah, I mean, I was just listening.
Okay. Yeah, so what you think so far?
I think it's interesting information, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just seems like they had a lot of different groups there that contributed to not only their culture, but also a lot of the inventions that they did there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I don't know if y'all remember, last time I said they was mixed, I was talking about different ethnic groups. You know, it was a lot of different ethnic groups there. So a little bit of everybody kind of all in the mix playing a role into things.
Facts.
That's kind of expected. I mean, because of the area. I mean, Egypt's not that far from the Mediterranean. It's not too far from West Asia. You know, you got all of those different African tribes surrounding the area too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they doing business, you're trading, you're going to war, and whatever else. I mean, I would have a hard time believing that they weren't sharing information and influencing each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put this link in the chat, man. There y'all go to this link in the chat room, man. Y'all got some questions, man, about anything. You think was the word Asia even being used at the time? Nope. They got a couple. They got a few different terms. I can't even think of the damn terms right now.
The place that we geographically call Asia now, that's what we're talking about. That's what we geographically call it now. We're talking about people that was coming from those areas into North Africa, saying that they always was there. People moved towards water. You feel me? People was gonna move. They moved towards the Euphrates, the Euphrates, and you feel me? The Tigris. They moved towards the Nile. People moved towards the Niger. You know what I mean? People move towards the water. It's just simple and plain. Asians, they move towards the water wherever they was moving, north to the Euphrates or into Africa, into the Nile. They was moving towards the water. Simple and plain. There was no boundaries then. Asians was gonna go there. You know what I mean?
There's a few different names for Asians, y'all. I'm trying to think of the damn name. Well, the Shashu. All right, that one. Damn, I can't even think. Hey, Sean, what's the couple names for those different tribes, yo? Put it in the Mossy group, yo.
Where Reggie at? I thought Reggie was coming on.
Yeah, Reggie, I sent you the link, yo. Now, Corey must be gone.
Haskell said West Asia or East Asia. Asia is a huge continent. And what is the overarching point here? That Asians was in North Africa. Pre-dynastic. That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point, Haskell.
Like we've been talking about it.
Yeah. And they bought, and they had some inventions too. They actually added to the culture.
And
another,
right. And another thing, people bring their language. They bring words with them.
You go down that road. You open up that can.
Because it's just like before we get into sources, we gotta use common sense.
Not me, yo.
I just don't get it, yo.
You can use common sense, yo.
You just gotta use common sense. You feel me? When they brought us over here, we brought words and shit with us. Like they done already did the research. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's crazy.
Let me see. This is one of my favorite white boys right here. I'm gonna show you something. Watch this. Hold on. If y'all remember that series Cosmos, right? And on Cosmos, there was a white boy. Hold on. Watch this.
Hey, you got somebody trying to get in there too.
All right. Yeah, you got something to add to this part of it? Season 2. Watch this. All right, we put that link in there, man. It's the round where y'all can ask some questions, man. Call in. Come on in here, man. Meet you in here.
It's Sean P trying to get in.
Huh?
Sean P.
No, he not.
Whoever Sean P is, he trying to get in.
That's
he said send the link.
Huh?
He said put the link in the chat.
I did put it in the chat, man. Hold on, Sean.
I don't see it.
Damn, I swear I did. No lie. I ain't gonna tell no lie.
Reggie said Asian phenotypes.
Reggie should be saying, hey, Reggie, I already emailed the daggone link to you, Reggie.
He said Asian phenotypes are on the Nama Stele.
All right, man, but I did send a link to you, bro. Yeah, Lotus, I ain't talking to you, yo. You just the craziest guy ever. If I argue with you for 10 hours, yo. Yeah, Lotus crazy. I mean, completely crazy, yo.
Rob Bourne just told him Aboriginals are dead.
They dead out. Yeah, they dead. They went down with the coronavirus, yo. Where that Courtney at? Courtney gone. Time we started. We started at what, 10:30? All right, we got like another half. We're gonna stay on schedule. Hey, I put that link in there, man.
Rob Bourne said put
whatever,
the link
man. The
in the
link is
chat.
right there, yo. I know y'all see that link, man.
It ain't
I'm gonna hit
showing
it
up,
again.
yo.
Huh?
It ain't showing up.
Are you serious, yo?
Yeah, Rob Bourne just asked for it.
Man, y'all see that damn link right there?
It ain't. I'm looking at the timeline right now.
You ain't looking at Real Black Atheist, yo?
Yes,
on
I
fire?
am.
You see that link?
Send the link. Just send it to me, and can I use the one that you sent me? I can just send it.
Yeah,
to
how y'all know? I'm sitting there looking at the link. Y'all trying to be funny now? Make it move online. Wait a minute.
I don't see it either.
Wait a minute. So nobody can see me. I'm saying, yo, y'all don't see that?
You somewhere else, dude.
What?
Yeah, you in the other chat.
Come on, yo. Hey, Alan, you don't see me typing this in here, yo?
Yo, tripping.
What? Hey, come on, Alan. Hold on. Wait. Y'all don't see this? Why? I put all Y's in there, yo. Y'all bugging, yo.
Man, don't see
y'all
Nathan.
Don't see that? Good God Almighty, yo. What the hell is going on? Y'all let me refresh the page. I must be in a wormhole somewhere, yo. Oh, that's crazy, yo.
I just put one in there. It ain't a collect. I don't know what the fuck. There it go, yo.
What? All that time I'm posting nothing, yo. We got 48 likes. We got 110 people watching.
Right.
Now you in the right spot.
I don't even. Yeah, CK the poet. I see her.
Huh?
Is that it? I just posted the Zoom.
So y'all ain't, hold on. Y'all don't see that. Y'all don't see that.
Nah.
Oh man.
No CK the poet comment.
Hey CK, you put the link in there? Yeah, Lowe's TV, you're legitimately crazy, yo.
I sent it to their Facebook. You want me to send it in the chat too?
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna put it in the thing.
You could have changed the settings on your darn YouTube, because I see it's
what? Change the setting. Y'all bugging, yo. So I guess I ain't seen Reggie's and shit neither.
Yeah, Sean said he's in the back chat.
I get him, man.
Let's see if I can find Reggie.
See if I can get. All right, hold on, Sean. I got you, bro. I got everybody. All right, there you go, Sean. You in here. All right, let's get the 347 in here.
Hotel.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. Peace to everybody. Hey,
What's up?
Quick,
Peace,
man.
peace.
I know a lot of people got a lot to say. So just for the listening audience, I just want to just bring a little bit of clarity to our actual discussion, if I may. When we had our phone conversation, the actual premise or the focus of the conversation was on Afro-Asiatic, and the metal nature being a part of that language phylum. And I continuously kept saying that Afro-Asiatic is not, it has nothing to do with any of that. And it led into Jeffrey saying that the Asians was always there. And, you know, we kind of went back and forth on those points. You know, here he was kind of say common sense wise, he was kind of arguing from that particular perspective. I'm like, the Remich didn't even identify them as a part of who they are. And my argument was to get him to look at the tomb of Seti the First. The reason that I actually brought up the tomb of Seti the First was to show that the Remich differentiated themselves from those Asiatics or those foreigners, no matter where they came from. They were foreign to the land. So if they were always there, and if they always had an influence on the Remech, then why would they separate themselves from them? And then you know, I understand Sheffrin's perspective, because what he was initially arguing is that academia rejects Negro Egyptian, which is a language phylum, which goes into a complicated conversation where, you know, more stuff would need to be explained to him that could not be explained in a 15 or 20-minute conversation that we actually had. And I wasn't just rejecting anything that he was saying. What I was trying to get him to do was to look at the totality of the evidence. And the African language has nothing to do with Asiatics first. And this whole premise of Greenberg's model is built on a hypothesis and a model that Greenberg himself has never used. And then we got into the people being in the area, because you don't see these foreigners having this influence or impact on. And I asked Unc this. I said, so are you saying that even in the pre-dynastic periods that you know the Remich were not, that wasn't an African place, a people that actually did this? And then, you know, he wouldn't answer that particular question. So to bring clarity to the actual conversation, yeah, I'm holding steadfast to the Remich being who they are based on what they are saying, based on the primaries. Now, I will say, maybe when I say that they was not there, maybe I need to be clear on that point, Sheffrin, to say that I can't say who specifically was there, because I don't have enough evidence to make an absolute claim that who was there. But what I can say based on the evidence that is there is that, you know, they dictated them. They knew exactly who they were, and they knew who foreigners were. So if you're fighting, if you're fighting or resisting people from coming into the land, that would explain to you that these people didn't or was never in this particular land. I'm not like people say they have always been there. I'm rejecting that, because if you say that they've always been there, then you're speaking in absolute, and then that will require more evidence. So I'm that's why I'm saying what I'm saying right now, so I can bring more clarity to it. I'm only positioning this from the perspective of rejecting Afro-Asiatic and the Greenberg model, as it was not used to demonstrate that. And because, remember, they called it what was it, a Hamito-Semitic language before Greenberg renamed it. So really all he did was renamed it and then try to reshape a language phylum and never used his own method. But not enough people identify with that, because, you know, if academia accepts one thing, then the rest of us should accept that. And I think that is where we fall on our faces when we rely on other people and are afraid to challenge the status quo. But that's pretty much it. And Reggie, I read your comment in the chat too, brother. saying that I didn't do enough research and that I didn't go back and verify. So I did research your work that you also provided at ASCAC, and you didn't demonstrate anything. Not to be disrespectful to you or anything, but you did not demonstrate. You didn't meet the mark, and you can't reject or say that something means something and you can't demonstrate that. So I'll wait for your work, and if y'all want to respond, I'll be quiet and I'll listen in.
Peace. Peace.
Can I talk? Oh, who's that? I'll wait.
This is the brother Rob on. Peace. Black African American power. What's good? What's happening?
Hey, what's up?
What up?
What up? Yeah. Hey, Sean, what do you think about the trade route, the 2 ways of Horus and Tel Al-Sakan that's in the first dynasty or before the first dynasty that goes into the southern Levant? Do you think any of those people came back with the Egyptians, or did they trade any culture or anything at that time?
A good question.
He jumped off.
Must have flipped off. He'll get back in.
No,
hey, Reggie, go ahead and respond real quick. Hold on, Rob Bone. That's a good question. Hold that. That trade route shit was good from Arius. Go ahead, Reggie, real quick. So Sean, get back on.
Yeah. So Sean is using a model from Saw Imhotep with languages, and that's fine. But there are primary documents. So and there's DNA. So to say that admixed peoples did not leave, Africans or Homo sapiens did not leave Africa, go into Asia, go into Canaan, right? And we actually have evidence of that. And to say that those admixed people did not come back into North Africa is a ridiculous proposition. DNA says that. The other part of it is in Egyptian, in the time period of the ancient Egyptians, before they called themselves Kemet, right? Because there was a time where they didn't call themselves Kemet. They traded with Byblos for wood. To say that those Africans did not take foreign wives for purposes of trade is a ridiculous proposition. We don't have to do language phylums to say any of that. Then we have other primary documents like the instructions of King Keti to his heir Merikari, where it says that they were fighting the Amos since the time of Horus. So the problem with this is that we're making the ancient Egyptians holy people, and using words like Ramesh. There are other documents like the Hymn of Aten where they talk about all humans being Ramesh. You can go to the Hymn of Aten. Yes, they do separate civilizations and people, but to make the word Ramesh mean something more than just being human is a ridiculous proposition. So my sources, all of this is the instructions of Merikari. It is the Aten hymn for primary documents. For historical documents, you can read anything on trade with ancient Egyptians, with Byblos for wood and other resources. We start using these words like Ramesh is a new word like netter, right? We deifying words that don't need to be deified. That's not scholarly. Let's look at the context in which the people use the words. Looking at something from the Seti tomb, that is in fact important at that time period. We also understand the 9 bows. Those things are important, but we have to look at the total context of civilizations are separating themselves. Now, I don't know if Sean is on. I would like to talk to him about my Kemet proposition, if he's on.
No, his daggone thing fell off.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because yeah, this is really unfortunate. And I'll say this until he comes back on, is that he's taking the only person who can produce or reproduce Asar's work is Asar. So in Asar, and I'm not saying anything bad about Asar at all. It's just that his work on languages is his work, his propositions, his theses, and that he is pushing it. And it's not completely wrong, but it's not necessarily verified by any other scholar but himself. And that's not saying anything bad about him. That's just saying that some of his how can I say, some of his language theories, or just simply his, some of them seem rational, some don't. The problem is that when we don't need any of that when we actually have the words of the people already translated. So to say that Kemet, it wasn't deciphered, is an error. I know he's not saying that. And no, Sean is not saying that. To say that there are not translations, I know he's not saying that. And I know that Sean is not saying that. But the word Kemet existed in the language in various different ways. And so the first thing what you want to do is you want to rule out the uses of the word. You want to rule them out. And so I got to wait till Sean get back on, because I like a lot of things about Sean, but we're gonna have to just get to something when he gets back on. So I'm gonna chill. But he cannot say that Asiatics or admixed people did not come back into Africa. Why? It's simple. The first of all, the cattle that the ancient Egyptians deified, that wasn't, the cattle itself did not come from Africa. It came from Asia, right? Mm-hmm. People are following the cattle. People are following the herds. So to say that these people did not admix, then you are destroying the whole concept of how we became Homo sapiens from admixing from other species of humanity. I'll stop. It's ridiculous.
How the hell? Can y'all see me in the chat? Y'all still can't see me in the chat room?
Yeah, I can see you.
In the chat room?
No, you ain't in the chat, dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
Did you when I came on, it looked like you made me a moderator or something? Let me just see.
Yo, Reggie.
Yes.
Yeah, you ever study about the archaeological site Tel El Sakan?
I'm not really at this particular familiar with it. You would have to describe more, and I can. But
yeah, you could really Google it, and then you could go to the Wikipedia, and then it has the links inside of it. Well, the Tel El Sakan, that dates at 3500, long date to 2500 BCE, as the oldest Egyptian fortress in Canaan. And it's on a military route or a military trade route called the Ways of Horus.
Okay,
and
yes. Okay, yes.
And there's another word called Taju. I don't know how to pronounce it. I know it's T-A-J-U, something like that. But I find that interesting because this is before the first dynasty. Whatever date you want to use for it, we use the conventional date they use now. So I see trade happening because we see vases there. We see the sauropod there. We see the stuff on the Gel Al Night. We see that, but we know that you ain't take stuff from there. We assuming they took women. We know that's gonna happen. But it was going back and forth because we find Egyptian stuff over there in Canaan, and we find that stuff over there. So
You're
if
correct.
some Asiatics, you know what I'm saying, I'm looking at the archaeological evidence. You know what I mean? So if we go back any further than that, and you start talking about Natufians and stuff, that's a little different because now we're playing around with DNA, and then we got these people with their gene flow going back and forth. So we know that. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that they was always, but I'm not gonna say they was always. I would say that before the first dynasty, them people was over there.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Now when you deal with what they call them people, we don't know because we don't have nothing written. We just have the archaeological evidence that proves that these people there was trading going on. You know what I'm saying? So I can't speak about none of that. I can speak about agriculture. We can talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We can see, no matter how bad we want to say certain aspects didn't come from there, it came from there. What are we going to do? But at the end of the day, we know based off of the genes that these people are some mutated Africans. You know what I'm saying? We know they're not Europeans. We already know that. We know that them Europeans don't come around till way later. We got Cheddar Man. They even talking about that's the first European over there, or he black. You know what I'm saying? He dark skinned or whatever you want to call him. And that's us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it's us, but I would say there's more of a African genetic makeup of those people.
Well, all humanity has African roots, so they are us.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I don't understand. Are we trying to make ourselves a religious people? I mean, this is the story of humanity.
This has nothing to do with religion, Reggie.
I'm not talking about not you, Rob Bourne. I'm talking about this whole concept of using these words like Zeramesh, and they were separate in the Ramesh. Ramesh just means it just means human, man and woman.
Yeah, I get that, but I understand both points. He's just talking about what they named themselves. That's talking about at a later date when we got writing. I'm talking about before that. So when we're looking at this archaeological evidence, we see that. That is the oldest fortress there. That is a direct route from Egypt to Canaan, son. You know what I'm saying? It's not a new book, but I would say 2017 I got it. It's called the Urban Archaeology of Ancient Egypt. It's talking about the first cities. And there's new evidence, and they unearthed there's fortress there. I got it though. That's
okay. So the major point that you're making is that these ancient Egypt and Canaan was in close proximity.
Oh yeah, and they was coming back and forth.
And so I agree, and I also agree that cattle came back and forth, right? And the stories of ancient Egyptians say they captured their cattle and they captured their women and they slain their men, right? So
yeah, but that's agriculture. You know what I'm saying? Once you domesticate animals, this is what you're dealing with.
Yeah. So the ancient Egyptians were cattle raiders and things like that, and so they raided the cattle that was largely in Asia and brought that back. And then there's phenotype in art. You have the Norma Stella. I can't completely say that the person that Norma is sliding is Asiatic, but looks more Asiatic phenotype. I may be wrong, but yes, your proposition and our proposition, Sheffrin's proposition, and is in fact that they did come by. But what is the point? What is the point that Sean is making? I don't understand. The point is that
you got to wait till he get back on because he left, or if I don't know if he can come back or not. So that's a dead conversation into the voice. The man can speak for himself.
Yeah, you can, because you can go to David Reek's work. Who we are. I think it's called Who We Are. These are Planck Institute scholars.
Well, I think this brother got a good analysis in here. Black Lion Supreme said, but that doesn't prove that the Asians were Egyptians. So now, let's say this, Black Lion. Now I'm not 100% sure of this because I don't have this evidence. I do have evidence that they traded, but if those people come over to Egypt and they have children and they build the same way how they built their alphabet. When you look at all of these things of how they got their writings and Proto-Sinaitic and all the, what's his name, Kabed head, when you look at that and how they got their writing and all that, once that happens, they adapt in a whole different culture, bro. So now they are living an Egyptian way of life because you are working for the Egyptians in their minds. It's the same thing. Like if I go work in another state, working wherever I go in a different country, I'm gonna be subjected to this specific culture. And after if you have a kid and you born, then yeah, you an Egyptian. Because culturally, that's
Egyptians, but the people of Egypt is cosmopolitan. It wasn't necessarily a racial group.
They all mixed the hell up.
Exactly.
Right. So I don't understand why some people are trying to make these people holy people.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's a light skin thing. I don't know why you ain't down with their team though.
I'm not laughing.
You better laugh. It's a light skin thing.
That's non-scientific. You just
yo, it is. It's the truth. Yo, man. It's the truth, bro.
How long we been on? We started what, 10:30?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, we about the end of that. So yeah, I think you're right, Reggie. Egypt got Africans that never left the continent. Then within that, you got different ethnic groups that spoke different languages. You know, Africans speak like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 languages. So you got different tribes and different clans on the Nile. It's 4,100 miles long. So it's really an example of nation building. America has different, you got Europeans, you got the original Native Americans. Watch this. You got the original Native Americans, this here in America. You got white people. You got Africans that came from Africa. You know what I'm saying? And they all make up Americans.
Correct.
So, I mean, that ain't even, so that's an interesting, we got the sister Whitney. Let me get
and look, check this out. All us was here at the beginning of the founding of this country. And we could all be considered Americans proper. You feel me? So right. it would obviously it had to be the same way back then. Let me read this. It says, and it's a wiki article. I know somebody was in the chat saying Rob Bourne is a wiki scholar. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? Y'all can't get past Wikipedia. So we ain't even gonna go until you got a better source than Wikipedia, you can get past it, then we'll talk. But right now, let's go to it. I say it is now largely agreed that dynastic Egyptians were indigenous to the Nile area. About 5,000 years ago, the Sahara area dried out, and part of the indigenous Saharian population retreated eastward towards the Nile Valley. In addition, peoples from the Middle East entered the Nile Valley, bringing with them wheat, barley, sheep, goats, and possibly cattle. Dynastic Egyptians referred to their country as the two lands. During the pre-dynastic period, about 4,800 to 4,300 BCE, you know what I mean? So bam, I don't even gotta go no further. You feel me? Right there, two groups of people, you know what I mean, inhabited that land. You know what I mean? People from the Sahara moved towards the Nile, and people from the Middle East moved towards the Nile.
Central Africa, you got Central Africa.
Yeah, then people? You got those people coming up the Nile. You feel me? Yeah, yep. they was all there.
But this is indigenous culture. Let me let the sister, and how you doing, Sister Whitney? How you feeling, sis?
Hello?
How you doing, sis? How you feeling?
I am doing good. My feet hurt. Just got off of work. Shoot.
Oh yeah, that's the one from the post from Chief Expos.
Yeah. So sis,
I'm gonna try to start a video.
You know we like to use.
Peace.
You said your feet hurt.
Nah, I'm not feeling how my hair look right now, so I'm off the video.
We gonna make sure you was real though. We gotta make sure
Right.
you're real, sis, on the pseudo killers.
Of course I'm real. Of course. Yeah, but I'm not. I look greasy right now, so I can't be getting on there. I'm like, I thought I would stop through real quick and just say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Whitney.
Yeah.
Really do. So so around here we like to use archaeology and all that to tell to tell an authentic African story. And I know that's your field of study. Am I correct in that?
Uh-oh. Yeah. So where are you guys discussing today?
Well, we just, we was on the Nile River. Shoot, I know what you do. You do archaeology in America, North America. Am I correct?
Yeah, I have some training in Egyptology. I had actually did a field school in Turin, Italy at the Museo Egizio, learning about Egyptology, archaeological methods. Well, you wouldn't say archaeological methods, but Egyptological methods in archaeology under a museological lens. And so I got the chance to work with some Egyptian artifacts, such as some mummy wrappings. I got a chance to analyze those under a microscope, looking at the detail. I had a chance to analyze some artifacts and looking at the way they were reconstructed. And then I had also completed a project examining mummies on exhibit, and how we as people who are going to museums and visiting them, we're just looking at them as if they're objects. Well, how can we add a humanistic aspect back into it, But most of my training is in North American archaeology, and I'm actually a zoo archaeologist. So I study animal bones and symbolism, and some osteology.
So let's go back to the Nile real quick, since you had some training in that. What in your studies? What did you?
God damn it! She said North America, man. Let's get over here. Let's get to where we from. Let's see what she knows. Come on, man.
We're not from North America.
I said I was just stopping through to say hi.
Boy, man, come on, man. God damn. Damn. Whitney, real quick.
My brain hurt, y'all.
Real quick. Yeah, I know you. Tell you what. Give us 5 more minutes of your time, real quick. Based off your study in Egyptology, what was the consensus on the general makeup of the population in pre-dynastic time? Well, our conversation was talking about they had an Asiatic population that migrated in. We got people coming from the Sahara, and we got people coming from South Central Africa. What in your studies, what information did you come across?
Well, what I learned from educators from UCLA, and this includes the director of the Egyptological program at UCLA, as well as the director of the Museo Egizio in Italy, based off of the research they have done. Also, as far as working with the artifacts, the mummies, and the sarcophagus themselves, the first peoples to come into Egypt during the pre-dynastic were coming out of the Middle East. If you're looking at ancient Nubia, those peoples were most likely coming out of South Africa. They're most likely coming out of South Africa, but the Nubians only ruled Egypt later on during, I believe, the second intermediate period. I would have to double check it, but I believe it was during the second intermediate period. The Nubians only ruled for 80 years. But if you look at some archaeological artifacts or even temples that were built under, I believe, King Ramses. There was a temple called the Temple of Elysia at the Museo Egizio that has evidence of Nubian gods, Egyptian gods, and also some Christianity. So if you were to go to the Temple of Elysia, you'll see that on the outside, there's like the Star of David. They have like stars on the outside. And then in the inside, you're going to see a mix of Egyptian and Nubian gods. So under King Ramses, there was like a mixture of both Nubian and Egyptian influence as far as religion is concerned. But in the pre-dynastic, the earliest peoples coming into Egypt were coming out of the Middle East. A lot of people don't like to believe that, but that's what the mummies, I mean, from the articles that I read, that's what the mummies are telling us from the DNA. Earlier than that, I haven't come across anything that's saying anything about people that are coming out of sub-Sahara in Egypt. At least I haven't seen anything like that, but I would have to ask my Facebook friends who are in Egypt right now excavating at Saqqara, at the Pyramid of Djoser. They would know more information about that. And also the Pyramid of Djoser is actually being opened for the first time to the public, just so people know.
Yeah. So when I think when you was talking about the rule of the Nubians, you're talking about the 25th dynasty. You're talking about.
Yeah, 25th dynasty. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure.
I said that.
Yeah.
I said 25th dynasty.
Yeah, of that.
I couldn't remember the time period.
No, it's fine.
About 750 BCE, sis.
Yeah.
700, somewhere in that
I think
time.
that's the second intermediate.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the third. No. That's the third intermediate period. The second intermediate period is Amos, and the first intermediate period is Mentuhotep II. So Mentuhotep II.
Amos Nefertari.
Yeah. So Amos Nefertari, that's 18th dynasty. So
I actually got to see a go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I'm listening to you.
Oh, I'm done. I said what I said. I mean, I said I was stopping through to say hi to y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate you. No, you good.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm glad you.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, but you had asked me a question on Facebook about archaeology and culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe you were asking how can we use like archaeology to know more about our culture?
Yes.
Yeah, like could you expand on that a bit more?
So there's toolkits that we like to use. Paleontology, archaeology, anthropology. And so as for the archaeology,
no. Paleontologists examine dinosaurs. We don't dig up dinosaurs.
Okay, so they don't deal with human bones?
Nope, paleontologists are all dinosaurs. Okay. Anthropology is the study of humans and culture with subfields in archaeology, forensic archaeology, bioarchaeology. It's even considered sociology as part of anthropology as well. Okay. It goes on and on. Yeah, it's a bunch of ologies.
Gotcha. So paleontology is strictly dinosaur bones.
Yes.
That was you saying?
Yes. And no, dinosaurs and humans never coexisted.
Of course not. I don't know why I don't believe you on that though. Hold on, let me look that up.
Yeah,
I'm just saying so if you're looking at humans and dinosaurs, the closest things to dinosaurs that existed with some of the early hominins are going to be like mammoths and other big animals. Like there may have been some that were in the water, but on land, all of the dinosaurs died out.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And then you have to talk about the bird species and stuff like that. So there are bird species that are very closely related to dinosaurs, and so that's just not to.
Oh yeah, definitely. The earliest dinosaur that we're going to see with feathers is called Archaeopteryx. It was a little small reptilian bird with feathers. Raptors even have feathers, as well as Tyrannosaurus Rex. But we're not talking paleontology.
Yeah, and to your point about your point about the mummies, the problem is when they test mummies, they usually unfortunately test mummies from a particular area, right? And
oh yeah, definitely. And the data samples can also be clouded as well, because over 3,000 years you have bacteria that are being mixed in with the bodies. As far as the mummification process itself, it literally alters the body. There's different chemicals that are coming up, but over 3,000 years, it's hard to have like a clean piece of DNA. It's problematic, and they try to trace it back as far as they can, but the thing that I see with a lot of people who like to use bodies to be part of their evidence is that they'll look at how the bodies are dark skin. If you look at any type of articles or scholarly articles at least that are talking about mummification, the mummies were actually covered in something called bitumen, and it was a dark liquid covered on the bodies, and then the bodies were wrapped. So one thing I've always come across, I feel like I'm not talking succinctly right now, but the one thing I've come across on Facebook with people using bodies as an example is that they're dark skinned. Well, that's not a valid argument because bitumen was used over the bodies, but DNA is something completely different from that, but it's clouded. There is no pure samples, and we don't even know honestly if what these scientists, whatever they're coming up, we don't even know if it's 100%, because there was also different interracial interactions going on. So let's say we're looking at the Middle Kingdom and we have some Middle Eastern Egyptians, and then we have some Asiatics coming in and they're overthrowing the throne, and then they end up having kids with the Middle Eastern Egyptians. So the bloodline isn't even going to be pure. You know, even the Nubians had some intermixing going on. So there isn't like a 100% pure strain of DNA in Egypt. It was a melting pot, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm eating fries, y'all.
Hey, Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't buying that paleontology. Let me read this for you. I know that's your field, but let me just say this.
I'm not a paleontologist.
Hold on. I ain't say you was. Make this point. It says paleontology also has some overlap with archaeology.
What?
Let me finish. Which primarily works with objects made by humans and with human remains. While paleontologists are interested in the characteristics and evolution of humans as a species, when dealing with evidence about humans, archaeologists and paleontologists may work together. I mean, that's how I learned this, sis. I don't know what's.
Oh, no.
I self-taught my damn self. That's how I learned it. Go ahead.
You're talking about hominins.
Hominids. Okay, humans.
Yeah, hominids.
Hominids.
Yeah, Australopithecus afarensis, Homo habilis, Homo robustus, Homo neanderthalensis, all that stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that. I told you, I'm tired. Gosh,
yeah, your feet was hurting. You was tired.
Oh well, I still stand by the fact that paleontologists. Now, this is a personal opinion.
Whatever.
I believe 100% paleontologists study dinosaurs, and then for anthropologists. They do, and I think that the study of early humans falls more under anthropology rather than paleontology, and I personally don't believe there's an overlap, but you are entitled to your opinion.
Thank you. Well, yeah. Around here we say source up or shut up. I don't want to get hard on you because you're just getting off from work, but we source that up.
Yeah,
definitely.
Whitney, there's a subfield called human paleontology.
I know about human paleontology. Okay. I'm thinking more dinosaurs, gosh dang it. Get off my back about it.
That's early life. Okay, well, I'm off your back. Look. I'm saying,
I'm a jokester. Don't take me seriously. I'm a jokester.
I ain't taking you serious. You on a jokester show for real. What you talking about, man?
Well, this is a place to relax. This is a place to relax, Whitney. You could come and do science and talk science and make jokes and have your feet rubbed and feel better.
Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. But no. So I really wanted to talk to hit on the culture thing, archaeology and culture. Like I wanted to know what you guys were talking about as far as that.
Well, we've been talking about that forever. The archaeology.
Really?
Yeah, we are. That's what we talk about on a regular basis. This is what we do.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm like live on YouTube right now. I'm like, hi YouTube, how y'all doing?
Yeah, they see the intelligent sisters on a.
And we got your full name. You don't have a made up name.
Yeah, you need a made up name.
No, you know what?
What?
I need to have a made up name. I can't believe my full name is on here. Yeah. I need to change that like ASAP Rocky. How you do that? They got my information.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just
do.
like, no.
And we got a lot of people who are
doodle-doo.
We got a lot of people who are pseudo and
I'm gonna say your
religious.
name. I'm gonna say
they
your
come
name.
up
W.
and they're gonna troll you. They're gonna troll you.
They trolling in the chat right now, and they just can't help themselves.
They hate smart sisters.
Yeah.
This is one thing
Let them
that I found out.
troll, because you want to know what? You want to know what? This is what I believe. In archaeology, you are always a work in progress. Nothing is ever 100%. So these pseudo, I don't even want to call them archaeologists, because like I have a degree in it. I don't know if these people are actually archaeologists, because I believe an archaeologist is someone who did the work, who is certified. You can be a researcher, so I'll call them pseudo researchers. You can believe whatever the heck you want. I don't care if you troll me. I give no fucks, to be honest. I'm gonna keep it real. You can say whatever the hell you want, but this is what we're not going to do: is come on my Facebook page and be disrespectful. If you do, you will be blocked. Just so you know.
All right, so
like
just,
I said,
just to up the ante.
I'm a work in progress.
Just to up the ante, right?
Work in progress.
Just to up the ante,
Yeah.
since you do, I take it from Rob Bourne. We have to ask you this question, right?
Who, me?
Yeah, we're gonna ask you this question, right? Just to see if you
are. Answer.
If you if you with us or if you with us or against us, right? The answer to this question
is good,
the answer to this question, right? To see if were Black people always in North America?
No.
Good. We love you, Whitney.
No.
Whitney, we love you.
No. Let me go into this for a minute.
We love you.
But I'm not going to explain anything. I'm not going to explain anything. This is the thing, okay? I work in the Southwest. I work with the tribes, okay? Their people have been here for thousands of years. The earliest bodies coming out of the United States of America have DNA that is connecting back to Asia, okay? Asia. Do your research. Yes, there were bodies found in South America, such as, I believe her name is Lucia, and she has like, I believe some African DNA. There was like 25 of them, but it wasn't a succinct data set. It wasn't a succinct data set. There was only 25 found, but the bodies prior to that are coming out of Asia. Like, they may have migrated over there later on, but that doesn't mean they were the first ones to come into South America. But as far as North America is concerned, there were no African bodies found in North America. I don't give a hell what nobody says. I work with the tribes out here. I've done the research, and I'm going to stick by what I've learned in school. You can call it white man's education, whatever the fuck you want. But what we're not about to do is sit here and erase history of a people who have already been, marginalized over various years by a white government. So forget y'all and your opinion.
Unc, you got a winner.
Yeah, Shorty. That's right.
You got a winner.
I'm just saying, like I one thing about me is that I don't disrespect pseudo researchers. Like, one thing I'm going to say is that you can believe whatever you want, whatever's going to make you sleep at night. Who am I to tell you that you are wrong in what you believe? But I go based heavily off of what the evidence is saying. Yeah, there are people out there who are publishing all types of things, trying to change the paradigm. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to talk about these things respectfully. But don't come on my page, don't come at me all left trying to tell me that I'm wrong or my degree isn't real. Like, I done cussed out so many people. I've cussed out so many people trying to tell me that I'm not a real archaeologist. And I'm like, okay, you go tell that to the advisors I've worked with and the money that I put into my educations. But I'm telling you, anyone from an African descent, well, no, wait a minute, because we all come from one main hominin in Africa. I believe it's East Africa. We all come from one hominin, but as time comes through, evolution is hitting in, and we're coming out of Africa or migrating to other places. It changes the DNA and it changes your physical what's the word? God damn it! It's changing
phenotype.
Physical phenotype is changing your phenotype, so I would have to say that those who were in Asia were the first ones to come over here in the United States of America. But South America, that one is a little bit, I don't know, that's a more problematic area. That is not my area. I will emphasize, I know North America, mostly the American Southwest. And as far as documents are concerned, the earliest person who's of African descent, like in quotations, African descent, to hit the American Southwest was a slave who came out of Spain named Esteban Enrico. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And he came over, you know, trying to find the 7 cities of Cibola. That's what we say in archaeology is the first Black person to come over here. But other than that, as far as hominins and early bodies are concerned, it's not here. And I hate for people to say, oh, well, you know, the Maya, they're Black, and the Inca and all that stuff. There's no evidence to prove that.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you one?
To prove that, and they weren't even in North America, so it's problematic. It's problematic.
Can I ask you?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Can I ask you one other question that maybe we can get back to? But you have to have come on and do something on methodology and proper research, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we're gonna do that next time, sis. We definitely.
Yeah. When your feet don't hurt.
When your feet don't hurt.
Oh, don't pick on me now.
No, I know. We jokes just
walk around that damn desert. You walking that desert or what?
No, oh my gosh, I was just walking and I was just at my other job doing some research, and I had boots on all damn day, so my feet hurt.
So just to get back to South America, so you are kind of sort of familiar about the possibility of oceanic people coming to the Americas?
Can you expand on that?
Yeah.
The Aborigines.
Yeah, the oceanic people. So these are the groups of people that went as far as Easter Island, Australians, those groups of people who were sea-bearing people from the oceanic region. Yeah. And
so Australian Aborigines?
They weren't necessarily Australian. They were those groups of people. They're oceanic people.
Oceanic, right?
Huh?
Yeah, and so the artifacts
oceanic.
So
because I know that go ahead. I'm listening. I keep interrupting. What's my problem? Yeah.
No, you're excited. We're excited too.
Oh, just a little bit, but no. I want to hear what you guys are saying about.
No, that's it's not their. Yeah, it's because my research points are that they Chile is a very important part of this narrative. See, there's these groups of people, you know, the Olmecs, and they try to say that the Olmecs and stuff were Black, but a lot of that matched oceanic archaeology. And so you have two strains.
Ooh, you're breaking up. I can't hear.
You have two groups of people. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you have two groups of people coming into the Americas. You have an Asian strain, and you have possibly an oceanic strain coming into the Americas. And so you have a whole group of artifacts that are in areas like Chile.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not even about to touch that. I don't know anything about that in South America. Yeah, I don't have nothing to say about that. I got to do some research on it.
If you're on, I'll give you see if I can pull up a source and maybe you can look at it. But yeah. You got a winner. Winner chicken dinner, right?
Yeah, I've never heard of that. And I've for damn sure from the Belizean archaeologists that I work with have never heard them come across evidence that the Olmecs were Black. There's nothing I've heard them ever say about that. So I don't know where people are getting this shit from. But like a lot of
look up Ivan Van Sertima.
I've seen Ivan Van Sertima. I don't like his work at all. I don't like his work. Let me tell you, I don't like his work.
My sister.
No, I don't even want to read it. Like I had showed one of my Belizean one of my friends who works down in Belize, and she was like, "This is a bunch of BS." And she's been going down to Belize for 6 years, excavating at 3 sites. I'm trying to think, where did she go in Belize?
Is she white though? First of all,
no, she is not white. She's
okay.
I believe Armenian.
Okay,
Wait,
she's white.
Europe with me, but she's not white.
She's
American.
white. She's white. She's Kim
not white
Kardashian.
American.
She's
Yeah,
Kim
there we go.
Kardashian white. She white.
I'm just like, I wouldn't consider them like like American white, more
Correct.
of European
They the
white.
proto Indo-Europeans, the Armenians and all these groups of people.
Come
They
on, Reg, let her finish what she was saying about her friend. But go ahead, sis.
Yeah, no, but I was just saying, from the research that she's done down there the past like 6 years, never came across anything talking about Black people in Olmecs. Like, I don't know where the hell people getting this from. There is no artifacts that are even linking back to Africa. Like, where are they getting this from? Like, there are reliefs, there are supposed pictures that show the Olmecs as dark skin. Well, if you're living in a tropical climate, of course you're going to be dark. You know, like the Native Americans.
That's on the equator.
Yeah. Yeah, the Native Americans who are not working, but who live out here on the reservation, such as the Navajo, Hopi, Zuni, even the Ackermans down in New Mexico, they are dark skinned because they're in the middle of the desert. The sun is freaking hot, and it's at a higher elevation in some areas too. You know, I mean, come on, that's anywhere you go, even in Europe. Like when I was in Italy for 3 months, Italians have a dark hue to them. You know, it's hot out there, so I'm just like, you can't use a relief to try to make an argument that these people were Black. You know, that's like using the argument that Cleopatra was white just because Elizabeth Taylor played her in a movie. You know, it's on the same spectrum. Like, it's all pseudo, and we know for dang sure. Well, we really don't know because we don't have a body. But Cleopatra, that's a whole nother situation I'm not even about to talk about. We don't even know what the hell she was. Right. Oh my God,
she was a Ptolemy. There were seven Cleopatras.
I don't know. She was Ptolemaic.
Yeah, she was Ptolemaic.
I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not touching that. I'm not touching it. Not today, Satan. Not today. Not today.
Hey, so watch this, YW. We're gonna call you YW.
Yeah.
We'll call you YW. Listen.
Yeah.
So you think you can get your friend here to talk about the Olmecs and all that since she's done some work down there?
She is current. No, she will not get on here. I don't want none of my friends to like get on here. Like, I'm not about to. No. If y'all want to talk to her, I will send her a message, and then y'all can talk back and forth on Messenger, or she can get added into some other one. But me, I'm not touching nothing on South America. But she is currently in what the fuck? Where's she at? I'm sorry, I'm a sailor today. But she's currently in New Mexico on an excavation. So,
and look. The pseudo killers, we deal with all human beings there, sis. No
I'm just saying, I don't want to make pseudo people feel like, you know, like, I don't know how I want to make them feel, to be honest. Listen. I just know I'm respectful, I'm respectable, whatever the freaking word is, of their opinions, and I'm not judgmental. But I'm just saying, you know, in the American Southwest, things are a tad bit different, you know.
When you're doing the field work and doing archaeological surveys and stuff like that, and your name is assigned to papers, we understand it around here. That's why they call us the pseudo killers. So we value the opinions of the pseudos, not around here, sis. We value the people who are actually doing the field research, because we like to read the archaeological surveys. This is what we do around here. You know, it's standard protocol. So we definitely want you to come back and talk about methodology, right?
Yeah.
That for you.
Yeah. Let me change this name real quick.
Yeah, change YW.
I can't change it. I changed it.
There you go. Nubian goddess. That's what you want?
That works. Yup.
Crazy.
Y'all done already said my name on here. Can y'all cut that out?
Nubian goddess, we got you. So we're gonna call you the Nubian goddess from now on. You stuck with it now.
I'm about to delete all my social media. I'm getting away from these.
We ain't got that type of thing going on. But you good, sis. You good. Relax.
I'm like, I want to live a calm existence. Yeah, God damn it. I ain't got time for these pseudo people coming after me. Have y'all even done any field work, for Christ's sake? Shit.
No, you
I'm
good.
Just saying.
No, we good around here. Don't worry about that. You good.
I want to hear something else. What's some other stuff?
Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Yeah, but I'm trying to get back to using archaeology to understand culture.
Well, you supposed to build on that a little bit. I know what we said. I know what we talk about.
I need a premise though. Like, what's my premise? What is my theory? What am I building off of?
Okay, so like
artifacts.
I know
Yeah.
that's some of the hardest things to do to put artifacts in this proper cultural context and to understand it. As an archaeologist, how do y'all do that? You find one piece of something. It's not a lot. One piece of something. How do you put it in this proper context, and how do you figure out what that artifact is and what it means to the culture?
Well, when you're at it, okay, so the first thing you got to do is that before you go into excavation, you have to look at site records. You got to look at legacy data. Legacy data basically is telling you what the researchers did prior to the more modern excavations, right? So let's say I'm going out to a site called, I work at a site called Eldon Pueblo in the American Southwest. So if I'm trying to do, excavations aren't going on anymore in the South. No, let's not use Eldon Pueblo. Let's use the African burial ground in New York City, right? So let's say we got a construction. Well, this is what happened. Well, so let's say we got a construction agency that's coming and they need some archaeologists to assess the site, right? So there's probably records of that site that date back to maybe a couple of centuries, maybe let's say 1 or 2 centuries ago, right? So archaeologists are going to look at legacy data to try to figure out what was there a while ago. But the one thing that they're going to be looking for are artifacts. So let's say we want to sit there and do a survey. So a survey is when you're just assessing the top of soil without digging down. So you look at the top of the soil. Let's say that there's an artifact exposed. Let's say that we see a human femur exposed. Well, what does that mean? You know, so you go back to the data, and then we look at some records probably from like the 1800s that say, well, there was a burial ground here. It was a slave burial ground. So that's going to give it more context. And so what archaeologists are going to do is that they're going to make a case and say, okay, well, we have something here. You can't do construction. We need to excavate it to try to see what we can find. You know, you dig down, you find maybe like 200 human bodies. And then you start to assess what's in those burials with the bodies. So like in one burial, there was a woman who was buried with African waist beads, similar to those in West Africa. Another one had a coffin lid that had the Sankofa symbol hammered at the top of it. It was like a heart, you know, it's the Sankofa, the West African Sankofa symbol. And so that's going to create more evidence that this was probably something important. And so you're going to build off of that. And so as you're building off of that, what you want to do is you want to start to protect the site, and then you want to start to protect the bodies that are in there as well, because, you know, construction agencies, they want to get in and they just want to start building stuff, right? And so with those bodies, the bodies are going to be systematically excavated first. They're not going to be removed in situ. In situ means while something is in the ground, you don't want to just remove it at once. It gives it context. It's similar to a provenience. So you're going to look at the provenience, and then you're going to look at the artifacts or the human remains, the organic remains in situ. Excavate those, photograph those, and then you box them up. And so those remains are going to be removed from the ground, and then they're going to be taken to a lab and examined. And so that's what happened at the African burial ground. And that's how they came up with a case that this was like something important. And so with that, you start to develop the data, you do analysis on the bones, and on these bones, there was evidence of extreme stress as far as, you know, labor was concerned. So they were slaves. There was also evidence of malnourishment as well. So they weren't eating probably, you know, a really healthy diet. They have evidence of their culture, and the bones are all systematically and respectfully placed, as well as that one burial having the same Kofa symbol, and then the woman having the West African beads. So then we're going to take that data and we're going to comprise it. So then you want to start looking at the more modern populations that are in the area. Well, could these have been the ancestors of Black people who are in New York? You know, it happens in a series of steps. Like, it's not all happening at one time or even within 1 year. So you're using those artifacts and the human remains in the ground to make an argument that that specific burial ground was something important, and that it may mean something to the current populations in New York. And so then it may become a heritage site, which it did. Now it's part of the national monuments. So by using those artifacts and the human bones in the ground at the African burial ground, you're able to help create a more extensive culture and a history of the area. You know, without finding out, without finding that burial ground, you would have never known that there was slaves who were systematically buried there. You would have never known that there were slaves who still held on to parts of their West African culture as well. You know, so you have to use artifacts as a way to figure out the histories of people. And it's the same in the American Southwest, especially with the bodies that have been found, the artifacts that have been associated with the bodies, because some of the burials found out here have had, you know, artifacts surrounding them. They've been systematically buried, mostly facing in the direction of the West. You know, you're using all of this to help build a culture. And then you also want to look at what the modern peoples are doing as well. Are they doing things such as, you know, making similar designs on pottery that we may find in burials dating back, you know, 1,500 years, which they have been found here. You know, there's similar patterns in pottery out here. You can make that cultural connection too. Like, you have to examine the artifacts, you have to examine the provenience, you have to examine everything in situ, as well as what's going on in modernity to help make your case. So that's all that's what I gotta say. I could keep going on, but I gotta take a drink.
In the chat, in the chat, I put in a link to a book called DNA for Archaeologists, and DNA for Archaeologists, and I think it will come up with the page number. And it talks about they don't have any genetic information on people coming from Polynesia into South America, but they do have.
What? I never heard of that.
They do not have any genetic material of people.
Oh, I thought you said they did.
Right, but several things that they do have tools, and they also have the Polynesian chicken. So
that's problematic, because those artifacts, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
That's problematic because you can make that connection with trade. If there are peoples who are, let's say, coming out of Africa and they travel over to Asia, and then there's some people who are going into Europe. Let's say we have a Neanderthal in Europe who wants to go and interact with a Homo erectus in Asia. And let's say there's something that they want, which most likely this didn't happen. I'm just giving examples. But let's say there's something that they may have wanted. Well, you're going to trade it. So that doesn't mean that they were the first to get there. That just means they may have had interactions with other people, maybe on their nomadic journeys, as we can say. But then that's also problematic because you never know if there could be some issues with DNA as well. Not saying that they're Polynesian. I'm just saying, you know, again, DNA is clouded. DNA is a problem in anthropology, and it's going to take years for it to get better, you know. But if there's no DNA, there's no bodies that are linking back to Polynesia, but there's artifacts there, then it's most likely that an archaeologist would come up with the conclusion that it was trade, or they came across someone on migrations, you know.
I know that's valid. So I left you the link. You can just take a quick look at it when your feet's not hurting, and just to know about the oceanic. It's not a big thing for me at all, but we try to research everything, and so I'm just going to familiarize you with.
Where we at? We at our time. Look, the show is winding down. Look, I appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, Real Black Atheists on Fire, Marcy Clan. Y'all go ahead and subscribe, man. We're getting those viewers up. You know, I appreciate the panel, Pseudo Killas, you know what I'm saying? Brother Sheffrin, Sister TK, you on here. You ain't said you was quiet as a mouse.
She sleep.
Oh, she's sleeping snoring. We know I'm biased to sleep. All right, who else we got on here?
Wait a minute. I meant to ask y'all real quick. Did y'all hear about something called Negro Egyptian?
Yes.
What is that? Is that a thing? Because I'm confused. one of my Facebook friends who's currently in Saqqara in Egypt doing an excavation at the base of Djoser's pyramid. She has been out there for like, I think 4 or 5 years now. Her name is Samira, and I had asked her, you know, hey, have you ever came across Negro Egyptian during your studies in Egyptology? Because she has her master's and her bachelor's in it, and she studied it in Europe. And she said she never came across it. So I'm just.
We have an expert.
What do y'all think?
We have an expert. His name is Asar Imhotep, and he's an expert in linguistics. So Negro Egyptian is a language phylum. So.
Here you go, sis.
It is.
Right here. You can pass this on to your friends. I'll get you.
I'm not reading that.
Yeah.
Look at it. Hold on. Look. I didn't say you had to read it. Look at it though. Look.
Yeah. So Asar Imhotep.
600 pages.
Yeah. So Asar Imhotep.
I'm not asking you to read that. What I'm trying to tell you is
600 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are you familiar with Sheikh Anta Diop and Theophilo Banker?
No.
Unfortunately, yes, I am.
Oh, what do you mean, unfortunately?
Man, y'all just
because I've heard some negative things about their work.
Like what?
I'm not going into that.
No,
we're
not going, Reggie. I swear, we at the end of the show. Next time we can go into
this. Is interesting. Hold on.
It's interesting to you. I gotta get up in the morning. It's uninteresting. Time is up.
I do too. Let's just say that the Egyptologists. Let's say that the Egyptologists that I learned under in Italy, they do not like the work of Cheikh Anta Diop because they said he's been disproved so many times and that his work wasn't 100%. So I mean, I've heard some bad things about Cheikh Anta Diop. So I don't know.
Italy.
What'd you say?
I said from Italy.
Yes. So I just wondered what Negro Egyptian was because I mean I never heard of it.
So
the Egyptologist I asked never heard of it.
This is it
does sound made up. That's why I'm curious to know what do y'all think?
I think this. Let me tell you what I personally think. I think the work is groundbreaking, and I think it'll be another 30 years before people will recognize it. So, you know, that's how it is in science and technology. It's slow, especially in science. It's slow. You know, we can talk about not the white boy Claire, where he, back in the early 40s, where he was trying to actually find the age of the earth. But in trying to find the age of the earth, matter of fact, he invented the first clean room, right? As a matter of fact, Claire, he actually figured out in trying to find the age of the earth, he realized that there was a lot of extra lead in the atmosphere, in Earth's atmosphere, because it kept messing up this dating process, right? And what he realized was the reason there was so much lead in the atmosphere is because of car emissions of leaded gas. Back then they had leaded gas. And you talking about something being harmful to human beings, leaded gas was killing human beings. And he brought this to people, and immediately he lost his funding because the oil companies was paying him, right? They had other scientists come up against him, but for 30 years, right? As a matter of fact, he got out the argument for 20 years, right? Then he decided to get back into it. So about for 25 years, he was out the argument. He decided to go back into the argument again, and he finally convinced their ass. So I'm not expecting a group of Black people, because you got people from Africa, Theophile Banker, Cheikh Anta Diop, continental Africans, right? Coming up with this early idea. Brother Saul Tep actually adds to the work. Jean Cardin Bowley, right? You talking about Africans, you know, having agency over their own languages. And so I wouldn't expect a person from Italy to really necessarily understand it. And I sure as hell wouldn't expect a person from Italy or any European nation to even take the time to pay attention to it, based off the fact they didn't pay attention to Claire, which was a European, and people's life was on the line. So I'm telling you, this work is really groundbreaking, and it's going to be a while.
Well, I'll give you the book.
Academia.
I'll give you the book.
I'm saying it's not a joke work, though. It's not one of those.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. I'm not a linguistic anthropologist. I'm not a linguistic archaeologist.
Right.
I don't do languages. I don't do linguistics.
Okay,
so that's why I was curious, like,
I
what
get you.
the heck
I
is
will
I
give
Negro
gave you
Egyptian?
the whole.
Let
You
her
gotta
finish.
go to episode 2 on Cosmos. Look up Claire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look them up. You're gonna see how they ignored him. We can talk about scientists that end up getting Nobel prizes in science. But for 30, 40 years, they ignored their ideas. Says, no. So I'm saying that's not abnormal.
Sheikh Anta Diop, he wrote
for your groundbreaking idea to get ignored. So we're gonna get those brothers I just named a fair chance. And
okay, so
it's not like they just pseudo talking. They actually put in the work.
So Sister Nubian Goddess, and Ankh is a God killer. I hope you know Ankh, you're looking at the God killer right there, and you just name yourself Nubian Goddess. He's a real black atheist. So I hope you know that. But
sorry, I love Nubian history. I like Nubian history. I used to be one of those people who was so enthralled in ancient Egypt when I was younger. Like, that's what pushed me into archaeology. But going over to Italy, I learned more about Nubia. And so I am trying to focus more on Nubia and less on Egypt.
That's fine.
That's why so when you think of goddess, please don't take it into religion.
No, that's fine.
Reggie, what are you doing? Hey, Reggie.
Sheikh Anta Diop, he wrote the book. Sheikh Anta Diop wrote the book.
What is wrong with Reggie?
Sheikh Anta Diop wrote the book. Sheikh Anta Diop wrote the book entitled Genetic Kinship of Pharaonic Egyptian and Negro African Languages.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. Okay, so that is probably the premier book that talks about the argument, but it is a language argument. It's not an archaeology argument per se, but it is more a language. It defines the field. So I just wanted to add that.
I have a question.
No, you don't. It's time up.
It's a quick one. It doesn't have to be answered. It's rhetorical. So
let a sister ask us a question to a sister, Unc.
Reggie, I'm not listening to you.
Ask the question.
Why, when I look up what Negro Egyptian is, it says that it is considered pseudo-linguistics?
Because it is.
Uh-oh.
Who said that, Sheffrin?
No, I'm biased.
Unbiased?
I'm unbiased.
I'm unbiased. I thought you were dead, yo.
I was until I heard Negro Egyptian. That shit woke me up.
You woke up out to sleep?
Negro Egyptian woke him up.
You woke up out to sleep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make a big argument.
That's his pseudo sense started tingling.
Hey, that's a good question.
I have a follow-up question that's directly to you, Unc.
What?
This actually kind of somewhat bothers me though, because we have a lot of people that we like to look up to and say that, hey, that they were such great scholars. Mm-hmm. They knew a lot of great things, and they were teaching a lot of important aspects when it came to science, history, math, and whatever to our community. But when they get labeled as promoting some type of fringe theory or some type of pseudo ideology, it does make me question, like, how much of a scholar were they actually are.
Yeah, a lot of pseudo.
If they were pseudo as hell on this one thing.
And I'm a pseudo killer.
Because it's like, if they were doing the scientific method, then why were they doing the scientific method on everything else that they were doing? They were right 100% about all this stuff in their books, but there's a couple of little things here in their book that they weren't. And it bothers me because it's like, I want to read their work. I want to take it serious, but it makes me iffy about reading it because it's like, yo, I got to sit up here and siphon what part of your stuff is real or not and make a decision between, do I even want to even read it to begin and waste the time to even read it?
Well, you have to read it.
If I never ran into any of y'all, I would have been thinking that David Imhotep's book was correct. I would have been thinking that Clyde Winter's book, that shit, I caught on to that real quick. But David Imhotep's book and Ivan Van Sertima book, those two books were written.
Well, you have to
well.
read it.
I would have got caught slipping. I would have got caught slipping by those books.
Yeah, but you have to read it and pull out the points that are controversial, right? So
But how would I know that?
All right, well,
a regular person.
Right. So first of all, when the person says that something is pseudo, you have to pull out what they are saying that is pseudo, and then you begin your research on what does the prevailing information say? What is the literature? You have to do a literature review on it, right? And if you're inclined to do your own research. So to be able to argue against the David Imhotep, you have to know what the points are that you need to argue. But you're not going to argue against them. That's not what you're interested in. But so with Cheikh Anta Diop, he argued at UNESCO with Dr. Theophilo Banga, and they argued against prominent Egyptologists, and they were not proven wrong. The work still continues, but they were not proven wrong by the best. And so then that's the natural process. It's not even with the European thinkers and scholars. As far as many people is concerned, for example, Darwin was a nut, right? And then as time goes on, right, then people add to the work. It's not just Darwin's work. It's so you know the process. You know the process. So I'll stop there because it's gonna get on me.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear, man. It ain't even. I mean, I don't know what more I can say. Can't just dive out there and just
think about it, Unc. A lot of people did. The majority of people do not know what pseudo ideology is. They don't know what pseudoscience is.
Yep.
They're just searching, because when I bought those books, at the time that I bought those books from Clyde Winters, David Imhotep, and Ivan Van Sertima, I really didn't know what that stuff was.
Put them on eBay. They're expensive. Resell them. Get your money back and a profit. Get them off your shelf.
I think
nobody gonna spend that much money for that dang book.
It's expensive now because a lot of these books are expensive now because they're not in circulation. Resell them. Put $800. Somebody buy it.
Can I add a comment?
Yes. Go ahead.
Can I add a quick little comment?
Yes,
so
you can.
when I was talking to my Egyptologist friend on Facebook, she told me that this idea of Winters, Sertima, all these theories they are coming up with, she told me that it's more prevalent in Black people in the United States, but it's not the same over in Africa or even in Europe.
That's not true because
of Black allergy.
No, that's not true.
Diop was in France.
Yeah, so that's the Francophone. That's Allione Diop. So it was very prominent in France.
She's talking about now in current populations. So why do you think that there's, and I got this a question for you guys, why do you think there's an influx of, let's say, Black Americans who think that they are more connected to the Egyptians than people who are like actual natives in Africa? Why do you guys think that is?
We have more research tools in America. So we have more access to information than many of the other places. And so we can do research ourselves. And so, so we have research libraries that we can walk in ourselves without a university degree in, right? And of course, then there's a lot of material that's already on the internet, but we can walk into museums, we can walk into research libraries, and we could talk to professors, right? So we have access that a lot of other people don't have access, like we have access to you, right? And just by chance. So we can engage.
Wait a minute, access to me. I don't think I'm a good source.
You have a degree, but you have a degree.
I disagree with that though, Reggie. Reggie, hold up.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I
You
disagree.
just say any damn thing.
Yeah,
God damn.
you saying that the reason
I'm listening
why
to
we believe
perspectives.
that we connected to the Egyptians is because we have more resources.
I didn't say that.
Hold on.
But I didn't say that.
We had more access to information. That's what you said.
Yeah, we have more.
Right.
We have more access to research so that we can prove or disprove propagations based on what we have access to. I am not saying that I am an ancient Egyptian.
All right, so
who the hell says that?
Yeah, so that's the problem right there, right? But because
we don't say that.
People that's in Africa, right? They know where they come from, and they know they don't come from no damn Egypt. You dig what I'm saying? Us, we confused about it. So you can tell us anything. We say we Native Americans.
Right.
We
More.
say we was always here. You show us a pyramid, you say that's in Africa. We say we from there. And niggas say, I got the Bible. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. You
disagree? Wait, you disagree? So you disagree with Asar Imhotep that West Africans had a connection with ancient Egypt, that when they migrated?
I
oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
I disagree with that.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
I want to know. I want to know, like, why do you disagree with that? I'm just curious.
Why do I disagree with the West Africans in Egypt?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to know what you think.
I haven't seen enough information on it.
What have you seen?
Okay, that works.
It's nothing.
So, okay, so the Africans, did ancient Egyptians, did ancient Egyptians have contact with Chad?
Hold on, Reggie, we all over the place.
Chad is central.
Hold on for a minute.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold on for a minute. Let's go back.
That's not in West Africa?
No, we're getting to West Africa.
Hold on for a minute, Shepard. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. Let's go back to Nubian Guardian's question. The question was, why is it that people in America believe they Egyptians as opposed to probably continental Africans and people in other Black people in other places of the world? And I will tell you, it's called the transcontinental kidnapping trade. Right? It's called.
Here we go.
It's called not having a real grasp on your history, right? It being stripped away from you. It's called why we call ourselves Black Christians, and then say that Christians, the original Christians was Black. We'll say the original Hebrews was Black. It's the same thing. Egypt was a little bit different. Those who study Egypt understands that one, the Nile Valley is 1,100 miles long, and two, that civilization that was on the Nile is an indigenous culture made that up, with different ethnic groups speaking different languages, came together to form the great nation that that would become Kemet later on. So African Americans looking for the pinnacle of African culture, the elders took us to that, right? And people, the same way you loved it, the same way you're African American, the same way the world loves it, but we understand that it's a nation in Africa, peopled by Africans in that area. Simple as that. And people from Western Asia.
Right.
They don't have burial tombs from the old kingdom, pre-dynastic time. They don't have that yet. But to answer your question, right? I don't think I'm a damn Egyptian. And anybody that really studies,
I know for damn sure I ain't no Egyptian.
Right.
Shit, my great-great-grandmother was Choctaw. I ain't no damn Egyptian. I can only say that.
Whoa.
Yeah, I have pictures. We got family.
That's one of your great-great-grandmothers.
Reggie, let me.
That's one.
Yes.
What about the rest of them?
I never said I was.
Reggie,
I never said I was Native American.
Reggie,
I'm just saying my family. My family is mostly Black.
Put your camera
my
on
great-great-grandmother.
I need a drink.
Half Choctaw.
I need a drink for this.
Put your camera on real quick.
I ain't no damn Egyptian. That's all I'm saying.
Goddess.
Me either.
I say Nigerian.
Hold on, Nubian Goddess. Put your camera on real quick. Let me see.
I'm not putting no dang camera on.
Let me see your face.
Shoot.
You say you Choctaw, right?
Nuh-uh. You said what now?
You say you was Choctaw, right?
No, I didn't. I said my great-great-grandmother was Choctaw. My family mostly has Black in them. So there is some Native American blood, but it did not reach far to my generation. Okay, but I know for damn sure I ain't no Egyptian.
Have you taken a DNA test yet?
I don't need to take a DNA test. We have pictures. I know that I am Black. I am Black American.
You know the Choctaw.
Hold on, Reggie.
The Choctaw was slavers. You know that, right?
Reggie, relax. Watch this.
I just want to add that the Choctaw Nation was slavers.
Talking.
You're not the only one talking. I know it's a show,
I'm the only one talking in this particular moment. Let me finish what I'm doing. She's on the ropes right now.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Now, let me tell you why you're on the ropes. You just berated Black people on why they this, why they that. Oh, my friends in Italy say this. And you gonna come on here being an archaeologist, being a scientist, and gonna act like you ain't supposed to take a DNA test to support it.
Pseudo killers.
No, I would take a DNA.
We call it lookership, sis. You can't tell me you look at your people parents and said what they was. We don't buy that around here. This is a show dedicated to some real sources, and a picture ain't gonna work. It's the good old fashioned eyeball test. So back off that.
I don't need pictures. The thing is, wait a minute. I'm just saying. The thing is that blood didn't reach far to my generation. Now, my grandmother, our family, they are so diverse, and we have pictures of my great-great-grandmother. She was Choctaw, but that blood didn't reach to me. I am Black American.
How you know she was Choctaw?
I am fully Black.
How you know she was Choctaw?
What was that?
How do you know?
Well, for one, my grandmother told me stories. They met her. She told them she was Choctaw. We have pictures. Okay, we have plenty of pictures. And on top of that, my great grandfather lived on a reservation in the 1930s. I looked it up on Ancestry.com. They lived on a reservation, but it doesn't say which.
Sister Nubian Goddess.
What was that?
Sister Nubian Goddess, you do know that the Choctaw were slavers of Africans. You do know that they had slaves. You do know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
yes.
So the people that they were enslaved were runaway Africans, and the Choctaw, they separated themselves from the people that they enslaved. And you know they fought in the Civil War for the Confederate, right? You know the Choctaw. So sometimes we take on identities that are really not our identities. Just being on a reservation means that after slavery that they're landless, and so they end up with those groups of people who lost the damn war. So
of course, I'm not saying I'm Native American, for fuck's sake. Shoot, I ain't no damn Native American. Like I said, I'm Black American. But I'm just saying, in my family, there was some Choctaw blood generations ago.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Do me a favor, sis. Do me a favor. I want you to look up the National Geographic. They have a study, and what they do is they go around and they ask people actually where they from. So this is how this goes.
I couldn't hear you. Could you guys repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
I'm saying National Geographic. Have you seen the National Geographic article where they had the two twins on it? One was white and one was Black, but they was twins. Are you familiar with that?
I think that was a lady in Africa who gave birth to those twins.
They were two. No, just look it up. But watch this though. Here's my point. Within that article, right? They talk about how they have this program and they go all around the world and they have conversations with people and they ask them. They get a room full of students and say, where are you from? And they say, well, my grandmother, we took a picture of my great-grandmother and she was that. And they said we was this, that, and the other. And they do all that. And then guess what they do, sis? They go take a DNA test. And they come back and they read.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to take a.
So hold on, let me just finish.
Take a DNA
let me finish,
test at some point.
Hold on, let me finish. What they find out is that all of them are wrong where they thought they came from. Right. Wrong as two left feet. So the lookership, the pictureship, that's not going to fly. And as a scientist, I'm thinking you should really reevaluate where your family think they all come from like that. You'll be very surprised. gonna be very diverse, and it's gonna be very interesting. But for the most part, that Choctaw probably fly right out the window. I just want to let you know that. My family told me we was Blackfoot, my grandmother. Same thing. I seen a picture of my grandma, like, yeah. No, wasn't that.
I ain't no damn Choctaw. But this is the thing, but like the gene pool is so interesting. Like the gene pool is so interesting, yes, because my mother and my grandmother are dark-skinned women. They are beautiful dark-skinned women. Me, I'm more on the caramel lighter side, me and my sister. So I'm trying to figure out like where is that I mean, my father, he's light complected as well. I don't know what's going on, but why is it that when we're looking at DNA, why is it that I came out this complexion and not dark skin? You know, like what is the recessive gene? What is the dominant gene? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, we definitely have to take a DNA test, but me and my sister, we just say, hey, we are Black American, but our great-great-grandmother, she was Choctaw. At least that's
we
what
might need to get the Choctaw. That might fall out of favor in a minute.
But you have, wait, you never know. So, Sister Nubian Goddess, you said your great grandmother, your great-great-grandmother?
My great-great-grandmother.
Okay, so how many great-great-grandmothers do you have? Because you're only talking about one.
Yeah, it was just one. As far as we are concerned, she was the only one. And
no, but you have other great-great-grandmothers. So you have
but we don't have any. We don't have like any. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't had any written records or pictures of the ones on my father's side, because I don't really interact with them too much. But on my grandmother's side,
you do know they exist.
One we mostly hear about is her. Yeah, we know that they exist. I just don't know much about them. Okay. So I'm at the point where I need to get a DNA test done. But that's the only like Native American blood we've heard about in our family. But we do know it didn't reach that far.
Okay, well, you can also do census. You can also do genealogy. So you can do DNA, but you can also do census records and genealogy to try to find out who you descended from.
Yeah, and those tests are like $300 though.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Not no more. Nope.
They're not. How much are they? What would you? Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, but you can do your own research on census records.
Yeah, so go ahead.
You can do your own research on genealogy, and then the DNA stuff is for your far distant ancestry, or for your going back up until the 1800s, 1860s, 1850s, 40s, genealogy would be better.
Gotcha. Yeah, look at y'all giving some awesome resources. I got to use this.
Yeah, because you're part of the Pseudo Killas. You're part of the Pseudo Killas now. So this is just how we think.
I thought it was Slayers.
Killers.
Pseudo Slayers.
It's killers. I need that on a shirt.
You definitely need a shirt.
Yeah.
Oh,
need that shirt. I'm gonna send her a shirt. And I'm gonna send her.
Oh, there's some shirts.
Yeah, we got some shirts. Got all that, Shorty. This is what we do. We have fun around here. But look, man.
What's is there like a logo?
Yep.
I'm working on that. We got
the logo.
I'm gonna send it to you.
I don't know. It's gonna be fire though.
Awesome.
No pseudos. You know we had no pseudos around. We don't play the pseudo stuff, right?
Yup.
Yeah, we're
trying to clear it all up.
Clear it all up. No pseudo. No.
I love it. It's awesome. But like I said, I'm still a work in progress.
We all are.
We all are.
Progress.
We all are.
Yes.
We all are.
I love to see what people are writing in the comments.
They're not writing anything bad about you. They're not writing.
Oh, not yet, at least.
No, not about you. They're talking about the rest of us, but not about you.
Uh-oh. But yeah, this was fun. This was fun. I broke a sweat at one point.
Reggie, why are you lying to that
girl? Oh God, is you a trip?
Oh my gosh.
She broke a sweat.
Wait a minute. She said, "Why y'all lying? What they saying under there?"
They say all kinds.
Nah, man, you don't want to know what they saying.
Nubian
I had to cut a couple of them because it's mostly the pseudos talking shit.
Yeah, the pseudos gonna talk. They're gonna throw shots at us. They pseudos.
You better be thankful that Kayla and Juju ain't in here. Y'all would have been timed out.
Yeah, we don't count the pseudos. We don't count the pseudos. We block them, so we only count the real people, not the imaginary people.
Hey, but look, we're gonna be on again next Friday, man. Our same time, man. Appreciate everybody for checking us out, man. Brother Unbiased, Brother Sheffrin, you know what I'm saying? Sister CK, Brother Reggie, Nubian Goddess, Brother Kent, man. Hey, this show is for the everyday people, right? Everyday people who've never heard of archaeology before. Everyday people who've never heard of paleontology, dinosaur bone. Everyday people, you know, they never heard of DNA. We want to make it very simple for them. And we just want to reach out people so they can put their story together. And y'all know what it is, man. We're attacking pseudoisms. Make sure y'all go to abjewwear.com, get all your clothes, your shoes, support the GoFundMe. We will be in New York on the 21st. Me, Brother Reggie, Brother Garfield, Brother Truth. We will be in the Museum of Natural History, you know, looking at some of that paleontology, looking at some of that.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Some of the hominids, taking y'all around, showing y'all the evolution is real. We got the fossils, taking a look at Zinthopithecus boise, which would be Lucy. So, you know, we're going to be in there, and we're going to hit the Egyptian Museum. So, you know, we're going to be there, man. Hit that GoFundMe. It should be in the chat room, man. Appreciate everybody and all the support. Appreciate the sisters that's helped run the channel. Look, we in this building, man. And y'all know what it is, man. We out.
Peace, peace.
Peace.